information that we prepared for you. And I think so, I think George got some hard copy. I think. Wrong one. So we shared the revenue and levy for worksheet. I think I am sharing the wrong one. I think I'm sharing the one that I had. So one of the things that as you might have heard Leah and I discussing, we received late last week, which I didn't see until today. They still haven't sent email notification that it's available. The updated lit numbers, the estimate of the local income tax that we will receive.
Yep.
It is going to be slightly less than what is in the documents that you've been provided. So the documents that I provided you, I based that on a 4% growth, which is similar to what we're going to be able to have for our property tax growth. However, the local income tax number was slightly less than that.
How much of this?
So and it was approximate, I can't remember off the top of my head. So I wanted to focus today on just the discussion at hand, but we will update those documents and incorporate any changes that you make today and what we'll have for you tomorrow. So, otherwise, I think the information that we have provided is hopefully pretty self-explanatory. And, you know, we've got some work to do. Because as you see on your documents, and let me see if I can pull that up. So as you see on the general fund available to budget, based on the estimates that I provided to you when we first gave this document.
Yep.
Compared to the budget requests, and this is just for general fund, we had almost $3.4 million shortfall.
Okay.
In revenue.
And now you're saying that's gonna be more because our lit is going down.
That's correct.
Okay.
But we also need to roll through those numbers because and do so, you know, thoughtfully, not just on the fly. Because a change in the correctional facilities lit then also changes the amount that the general fund will need to help with to operate the jail.
Absolutely.
And likewise PSAP, et cetera.
Yeah.
So this,
I can see here, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the same document.
Got it.
I can't see, I can't hear, I'm getting older, face the fact.
Any questions for P about the income side of things?
P, I see you've got the estimated revenues on investments going down by $1.2 million.
that information I received from the treasurer, Barb Hackman.
Okay.
So you'll have to ask her more about how she came up with that calculation.
Okay.
So, and let me ask a question then, on the budget expenses, the 2026 projected, the $1 million we set aside for council last year, it's not reflected in expenses, but if we move that back to that or reduce that by $1 million then, correct?
That's correct.
Then, and the second thing is.
I would caution though to eliminate all of that because of things that are happening with the changes because of SB1, et cetera, that you're probably going to need some of that consultant dollars.
Yeah, we probably don't want to take it to zero.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to think big ticket items when we're looking at this, when we're talking 3 million. Then on the 1.2 million on the community crossings grant was, and that may be a question the commissioner sent, would that be part of for 2026 on the reduced revenue, or is that wishful thinking on their part of tax monies coming in now from the road, without the wheel tax?
You'll have to ask the commissioners.
So basically, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Any question around the area of the impact of the wheel tax for highways, we would have to address it with the commission. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So on the sale of the old highway garage, it says a negative income. Do we take a loss or,
No, because we don't get to sell it this year again.
so it's delayed? Okay.
So in last year's budget, we reflected that sale in our projected 2025 revenue. We likewise had the building of the new salt barn in the 2025 expenses. So since, you can only sell that building once.
Yeah.
And, so
That's
So
just
we
how we
can't,
count it.
so that's why I took it out.
Okay, perfect. I just was like,
No, great question. Uh-uh. This isn't in here as a big, well, no, I mean, like, group insurance is going up 121,000. Do we have visibility to that contract to know how much of that is like premiums versus savings accounts contributions?
Again, you'll need to talk to the commissioners about
Okay,
that.
I didn't know if you had access.
Was there I can't remember if you said on those meetings,
I do not.
on the health increase things?
I do not.
Okay. Then, and if I'm thinking right, moving forward, and when we look at your projected revenues and budget expenses are what we have, like I classifies in our checking and our savings account for the county, we got roughly 15 million, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong on some of this, 15 million in our rainy day fund, million in the riverboat money, and potential $1 million in our consulting part for the commissioners, our council. Is that the main buckets that we have revenue outside of the revenue totals that you projected? That we can deal with looking forward over the next couple of years?
Those are definitely some of the primary drivers.
Am I missing some, or I'm just trying to remember?
are there?
Well, one thing is the CDIP fund that the commissioners currently have, and there's approximately an 8.9 million balance in that.
Yeah.
And we'll get more income tax revenue for that fund in this year. So that's something that will go away as SB1 happens, when the current method of local income taxes will change, and it'll be not directed as it is currently, but it'll be directed as to how this body decides to create that. So that's a question of, if I was sitting in your shoes, I would say, okay, commissioners, you've got X number in the CDIP fund. What are your ongoing obligations for that fund, such as the payment on the highway bond? And then otherwise, what do you have committed? And then what is your plan for the remainder? Because that's, $9 million right now.
Yeah.
Another thing is in the Dunn and Associates reserve that is held at Dunn and Associates in their bank account, there's $5 million right now.
And that was from the medical we set aside starting 5 or 7 years ago.
Well, I mean, it fluctuates.
Yeah, but then we were almost zero 10 years ago in it.
Yeah, that's why what are we contractually obligated to? And that's what I was wondering. That's why I wondered if you had visibility to our
I think there was
contract.
a formula for that one, for our size, how much we needed in a reserve.
I'm not,
You're not privy to the contract.
no.
We can ask the commissioners.
Yeah.
Can I ask, since I wasn't around when they did the reserve, what is the purpose of the reserve? Is if we would not be able to pay?
Yeah.
We were very, very short in that fund before we started. I think we initially set aside $1 million, if I'm right.
We set aside $5 million and we were gonna keep it around the 5 million in order, depending on how the claims came in and all that. Because there was a point in time that we almost ran out of money and did not have money to pay for the
Insurance.
because we're self-insured.
Yes. So the return on investment, does that go toward our cost of those medical bills that we pay for our self-insured, or where does the benefit of that investment, the return on investment for that $5 million go?
That goes back into the fund.
It does.
So so the reserve amount, and I believe as of last week, it was 4.8 million. The bulk of that is invested in CDs that are between, I believe, 2 and no longer than like 2 or some years. And the CD interest goes back to the fund.
Thank you.
Yeah, go back to the statement that you made. I don't remember, when do the commissioners need to, we need to approve the commissioner's seated plan. When do they have, if there's any change in that seated plan, we need to reapprove it, correct? And if so, have there been any changes on that plan? Do you know of any changes?
And I believe they present it to you. I don't know if you really approve it.
What are you talking, what's the question? What's the question?
The seated plan,
We're presenting it today.
you are presenting, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Okay.
What was your question on the crossing? Are you gonna talk about what'd you ask?
Oh, it was the
Community
1.2 million, we'll deal with that when they come up there, that they set aside for roads. I think it was.
2 million, guys.
Do
2
I?
million. It's not 1.2, it's 2.
2, but it's, the community crossings. I got 1.2
I
down.
got 1.2 on my budget, or on the summary.
On the summary.
There should be no money on community crossing.
We've got 1.2 for next year.
And expenses.
It was a 1.2 million increase in the commissioner's budget due to, and that was for road funding, due to the fact that the community crossings would be going away.
Right.
That was my understanding
So
from looking at the documents, and that's how I reflected it.
you will
on
get
the
community
summary.
crossing grants for next year, but the following year you won't, correct?
Yes,
We do not think we're gonna get any next year.
you do. You do.
We
Next
get the
year.
first part.
No, you get all of it. If you go to the state website and look at that, they very clearly said for 2026, you do not have to have wheel tax in place. I've got the document. I can email it to you.
Yeah, that's not what we,
That's what the state is saying on their website.
okay. Well, if you believe it,
It says 2026 Community Crossing Matching Grant Program. And then when you ask wheel tax, no, local unit governments are not required to adapt an ordinance to impose a wheel tax, excise, surtax to be eligible in 2026.
is that for,
And this.
so are you saying next year it's gonna be the traditional way?
Yep.
So it doesn't go into effect until 27?
Correct, and I reread the statute, and the statute says the same thing, and this is a document that's dated 7/28/2025 that I pulled off of their website.
That's new information then.
It totally could be.
Yeah,
but
Which is
it's,
great for us.
yeah,
I'm still gonna suggest we budget the money. Even if we give it back. But we can get to that down the road in,
I
a few
agree.
minutes.
Anything, I don't have anything else.
I don't need any other questions before we get like,
Pia, this is good. I mean, thank you.
A lot of work, yeah.
It is, that's a lot of work to put it in a capsule like that.
Just wait until you see what I got for you tomorrow.
Wait to see what we're gonna do to you later.
All right, we done with that? I'll stop sharing that
Yeah.
and I will start sharing Scott's presentation. When you're ready for that.
You guys need a restroom break or anything?
we
Because,
just took one.
waiting on a couple commissioners. We expect at 2:00.
Scott's first.
Scott's gonna take 17
But
minutes.
we're gonna be here for Scott's.
We can slow our roll. I just emailed that document to you, Tony.
Thank you.
What was your other question you had since you were talking insurance?
Oh, yeah, insurance increase, anything?
Yeah, about 6.5%.
6.5% back to the employee.
Oh, no, I'm talking about liability and that sort of thing,
Oh.
general coverage. You're talking about health insurance?
Yes. I mean, we always kind of like to know ahead of time when we start to raise.
I think it's like 3 point something.
Is that for the county or employees too? or-
You guys are getting me out of line here.
Well, you guys.
We're trying to utilize every penny we got.
I'm not even the chairman. I believe we agreed on a 2% increase for employee premiums.
2%.
Do you have a method in place where like some places do, like BCSC, where you automatically know that you're gonna share that increase in costs? So you don't have to every year wonder what it's gonna be in the sharing,
Well, we're self-insured,
like that.
and so we get estimates from our third-party administrator explaining where our plan is and kind of the route where it's going. And we listen to their recommendations, and first off, they say our plan is in pretty good shape. But the pharmacy is really starting to get out of hand. And that, we're gonna have to do some work with that, but, we're gonna have to make some plans, some changes in our plan to deal with pharmacy that, probably won't be pleasant. But, we're not ready to make those plans yet. But we do have sort of a guide as to where we think costs and expenses are going, and we're well under control of that. I'm looking for the, 3.7% on group insurance.
On group and 3.7. Help me in layman's terms, if we theoretically give a 2% raise to the employees, what does that break down?
No. As far as premiums go,
Right,
no, we're putting in a 2%. So like on a single plan, it's only gonna go like a paycheck or something.
okay, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah,
You-
$1.50, something
For
like
the
that.
contribution, in the last couple of years, we have not increased the contribution of the employee. And you're saying that this coming year?
Actually, we did increase it 2% last year, George.
Last year, 2%.
Yeah.
And we're doing it the same thing this
Yes.
coming year.
Because there is no light.
What we don't want to get to, George, is we don't want to get to a point where we have to have a 25% increase.
Yeah.
My water company,
Is it?
maybe your water company too, is 53% increase. That we all agree they should have been working on infrastructure this whole time. So now they're asking for over a 50% increase. We don't ever want to do that here. They hit me before the meeting even started.
Preliminary, Carl. Preliminary, Carl.
They're brutal.
He was the first commissioner to walk in, so you're a
That was my
lifeguard, you were
mistake,
second.
Carl.
Carl's like, better you than me.
Carl's a veteran, he knows that.
He's like, don't be early.
So you guys are ready to start with Scott? You don't need a
Yeah.
break or anything? I mean,
No, we're
We
ready.
got our first meeting on our,
are you ready, Scott?
I'm ready when you guys.
We're just
are
here
ready.
for sport.
Appreciate that.
Rock and roll, Scott.
Yeah, you guys ready? Man, no pressure. Bring put the pressure on me. First in line today. We're all going on here. All right, so, I handed out some packets here. This is honestly mostly a discussion, guideline for me and for you, and information for some of our new, council members that, about our services and our staff and such, but, the 30 minutes I have, I wanted to, on 4 major points, and that being, the summary of what's in this year's budget or next year's budget requests, and then the department requests. And I took some cues from listening to the council of a lot of interest in what the budget's going to look like over the next few years, long-term plan, and then just some general info to share. So I'll just walk through this first page here, just a summary of next year's request. Licensing and subscriptions, so we're actually down 0.5%, even despite a few additions this year. This reduction is renegotiated agreements with vendors, and we've always had a very proactive license usage management plan here at the county. We really control the number of licenses we assign and purchase throughout. Hardware maintenance, so we have data storage due to some aging equipment. Then audio visual systems, we're starting to absorb those costs and the repair costs and maintenance costs. We purchased all of this with CARES and ARP money, and now there's a theme, a lot of those things we purchased, we're starting to see the cost of ownership for those things that we purchased in those years. Biggest budget drivers is, as always, it's equipment life cycle upkeep. In 2018, Mark pulled me aside and said, Scott, we need to try to flatten this budget and quit with the big spikes from year to year when things would break or things like that. So since 2018, I've really worked hard to maintain that roadmap and forecasting expenses for multiple years. But the current missions are with finishing up the network and storage infrastructure upgrades. That's looking to conclude in 2026. Then we'll have about a 7 to 10 year period of some level costs for that. Routine replacement cycles for laptops, desktops and printers. That's an ongoing forever, and that's factored into the life cycle depreciation. The largest single project we have is you guys may remember the jail security systems, the video and door systems. I think that was about almost a $2 million project several years ago. Well, those are starting to come back to needing life cycle replacements. However, instead of doing all of those in 1 year, working really hard with the sheriff department, and we're going to continue a phased approach to kind of eat a little bit of that each year rather than another $2 million single investment. So overall, the budget is in alignment with the long-term plan that was established in 2018. There's really no major deviations in that. And when I talk about this plan, that's this big sheet here that we'll get to. Of course, I'll talk a little more about that. Department requests this year, I know this is an area of interest a lot, were very minimal. And we'll go through some detail of that, but the most notable, the code enforcement office is really overdue for equipment upgrades and especially software upgrades. So that's, you'll see in the department request, that's one of the bigger expenses requested for next year. We have a building UPS at the 911 center. I believe that's over 10 years old now. That's due for replacement. And then several requests from the youth service. And I've got some detail on that. Make a note there for department requests. Reliance on technology continues to grow.
Departments, they seem to be adopting technical solutions to meet the ever-growing demands from the community. I think that helps them manage staff needs. That's just me speaking personally. But any place that we can apply technology that helps relieve in that area, that's certainly something that I want to work with every office on. And we do a lot of that. Let's see, cost control through strategic realignment. Going down to the middle of that page there. Reducing server and storage infrastructure complexity. 2024 and 2025, we spent a lot of time reevaluating the complexity of our infrastructure. We had the VDI, which is virtual desktops, in place. We had a traditional 3-tier storage, compute, and server infrastructure. And all of that has been replaced with a new, more efficient Nutanix solution that combines all of that complexity into probably from about 30 pieces of hardware down to 8. So that being said, the expense of that and the complexity of that, that's one example of when I talk about strategy realignment, newer types of technology, newer, more efficient types of technology, when they come on board, we can reduce the overall cost of complexity. Let's see, consolidate solutions, I think I said that. The Fortinet project was also a big key to that with cybersecurity and networking. We combined those things into a consolidated product and eliminated the need for lots of little products across the whole thing. Right, commitment to efficiency and ROI, strategic realignment, just what we spoke about there. And ensuring that our returns on investment targets are met is a big one. When we talk to departments, when we incorporate new technologies, I believe it's really important that we remember to meet those returns on investment, so achieve that. The next few pages, I want to leave enough time for you guys to ask questions about details, but I did write up, some information about our staff there, a couple keynotes in that. We are fully staffed, and it really feels like we're working at probably beyond maximum capacity. There's never a dull moment. See, one of our biggest service challenges, we were just talking about this earlier, is absorbing mid-year project requests. We do all of this planning during the budget cycle, and then it seems like it's inevitable that we get just a constant flow of new requests throughout the year. And then have to adapt everything we plan for. So that's our biggest challenge, and that's usually the cause of most of the delays you might hear about for the IT department, is absorbing that and adapting and adjusting to move that forward. Let's see, service levels, the core county needs are being met, moderate waiting periods, occasional delays with more complex requests. Emergencies are getting immediate attention. I feel like that's a healthy level. We don't want people sitting downstairs waiting for something to do. But we do have some moderate waits for things to be in line. So that's the balance we're trying to maintain. The page number 4. For the new council members, just a summary of the types of services that the IT department focuses on. I don't want to read all of that, but certainly happy to answer questions if there's anything there. The only thing I'd mention is we have almost 100 years of experience in our department and a very diverse portfolio of experiences from risk management to compliance management all the way down to server and desktop. Huge variety of experience there. I come from a banking background, so all of my planning is based off of risk management. I worked in the compliance department, so. Page number 6, work volume statistics. I always include this. Number of phone calls we handled last year kind of blew my mind. Quarter two, 61,000 phone calls that we managed. And help desk tickets, they're kind of on a constant bouncing trend. After all, calls are remaining stable. No shortage of work to do. And I think this page number 7, I think this is probably of maybe some of the biggest interest, just based off of conversations I've listened to with the council. The forecasting of the next several years. Like I mentioned, since 2018, we've had this roadmap in place, and that's been the driver behind every budget that I've presented since then. It's kind of difficult to project technology too far in advance. You get beyond 3 years, you're past, people kind of throw away what they've built and they're working on something new after 3 or 4 years. But overall, there's a modest upward trend of our spending. I think some of that is from the COVID additions. Some of it is just the cost of everything. We get another couple years in advance, we'll want to step back, we'll want to look at strategy again and do like we did with the VMware and Nutanix efforts, reevaluate that and look at what's on the market that might be more efficient to do similar or the same thing for less expensive. And that's a rinse and repeat forever. That just goes on forever. Let's see, and that actual process 2023-24, and that yielded us results, as you can see in that little graph on the bottom of the page. We had a dip in expense there. We got another little bump as we finish out these projects, and I am forecasting the 2027 budget to be flat or even possibly less, based off of completing those projects and then reaping those rewards. Let's see, all of this is always contingent on if departments, have big significant needs, if we build new buildings, all those kind of major things that, might impact overall. But right now, there does not seem to be any significant indicators of cost spikes. This lays out my forecasting to 2032. And that's what that graph represents. I'll advise some caution on the last 2 years of that graph where it's showing it going really low. I think that's just because we don't have data. Probably 2030 would be my latest year to have comfortable forecasting in there. So moving past that, the actual budget numbers are here on the sheet there. I can pause there for questions on that. And then the very next page is the department requests that we may want to spend some time on there.
Couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Is it reflected in your budget somewhere on the potential new employees for the prosecutor and the commissioners equipment?
I do not have, the only new employees I have included in this budget is possibly 3 from the sheriff department.
Okay.
And that's 10,000 for that, but.
Yes, sir.
And then a follow-up question on that. Who, is it you or the sheriff's responsibility on the future rotation for the body cameras and the video? And if so, is that reflected in this or in his budget?
Yeah, we do not have, the IT department does not have the body camera.
Sheriff's
That was the sheriff, from the sheriff.
On his rotation to keep that going? I couldn't remember.
He manages that. Yeah.
That's on the
I can
sheriff.
add it if you wish, but
No, I just didn't know.
I think they actually did, Mark, I think they actually did that last year.
Was it? I couldn't remember. And I didn't see it. And I didn't-
Yeah.
So you would be the new employee if we give the prosecutor a new employee on the laptop and stuff that they need?
I would definitely need, yeah. And I would add a couple $1,000 to the IT budget for each new employee. And that would cover a laptop workstation, the licensing, and anything they need. That's about $2,000 is the average on that. Okay.
And Mark, for the commissioners, Mark,
We've got on the second page, under the departmental request, we're gonna be doing a lot of conversation around the area, the youth service center. Can you elaborate, what are their, are these wishful requests, are they legal requests, or
They are.
elaborate on that area?
And let's see, the specifics there are, we did have a real brief conversation.
I was gonna say,
About-
Scott and I talked about this stuff too, cause like, I didn't wanna put anything into youth service that was gonna be like
Well,
demolished then.
That's-
So like,
that-
what's
that's-
transferable? So we'll
That's
let Scott.
exactly why I'm asking that
Yep.
question.
Yep,
I
that's
said the
right.
same thing
If
to
we're gonna be
Scott.
talking about a new building, why put equipment there that is gonna be, destroyed or not
That's
Not
right.
usable.
correctly or whatever, so.
That's
if
like
you
one
don't mind-
example would be like new camera system. So that is accounted for in the budget, but of course, the council may decide to include that cost in the building cost. or something like in a different cost center someplace. But I do have everything that was requested in this budget. However, the timing of that, or whether it's paid for by somewhere else, you know, that may be contingent on what you guys decide to do with that center.
Same way if we reduce the workforce.
That's right. We may not need as many computers.
Right.
There may not be as many camera requirements. So I think, what the number that I have here reflects everything they've asked for. And then whatever you guys would decide on that project, you know, we may have to adjust that or adapt that a little bit.
So basically, whatever request that they have is in your from the youth service, is in your budget, none of theirs.
That's right.
So if we,
Technology.
depending on what we decide to do with the youth service center, we'll have to come back to you and adjust some costs,
I
correct?
think so. I think it would be some good conversation to have when things get a little more firm there.
Yeah.
And for some highlights, you know, they have some need for some additional workstations, you know, and this is all based off of the current building. If the building is configured more efficiently, maybe they don't need these workstations, you know, or a desktop. So there's some workstations there. Another Zoom system they're looking for the classroom and court presentation. So some additional office docs, some software.
How much money are
digital
we
processing.
talking about roughly?
Total on that was, if you add everything together, it's in a couple different spots on here. It's about 110,000 total.
For youth
110,000.
services specifically?
Yes, yeah.
Is this something, I don't know how the council feels about this thing, but whenever the youth service center present their budget, would it be worthwhile for Scott to be present also?
I think he will be. He will be. And this is the exact reason I wanted Scott to be the first man
Yep.
in that seat, was so we can ask these follow-up questions when these other folks are coming in front of us.
Good idea, and that's the reason I'm asking the question, so if you don't mind, make yourself available.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be here the whole time.
I'll be here.
Yep.
Okay,
So
good deal.
I have a couple questions on equipment upkeep. There's an increase of 247.7. I'm assuming the detail of this is on this last page where you have 60,000 for digital scanning software equipment, 45,000 for the UPS system replacement. Is that all part of that 247,700?
That's right. Yep.
And is part of the youth services in that as well?
It is, yeah, part of the part that's in that specific number is, if we go down through here. Let's see here. Well, I've got that broke out, so I'll have to help reassemble that,
Yeah.
because some of that was software and some of it was
And if you could
hardware,
just
yeah.
guesstimate,
Yeah.
that's okay. Good.
I'll help divide that up a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Scott, you made the comment that from a staff point of view, I'm gonna use the term, you're almost to the work limit. I mean, you're stretched out as much as you can. Is that something, do you need to contemplate asking for additional help, people wise?
Well,
And where are you? Can you speak up a little bit
Yeah,
more
that's it.
about
absolutely.
how stretched your people are?
Yeah, that was my question for you too, because that's probably one of the bigger comments I get from the boards I sit on, like, I put this request in, Scott's team is aware of it, they're working on it, and I was like, does Scott need more people?
Well, there's a lot of things.
Yeah,
I realize that you're working on the prioritization of things, but
Totally.
there are some things that need priority that we have pushed to a side.
Yep.
Because they don't seem to have the push that other areas have. One of them that comes to my mind is a webpage,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay, off the top of my head right now, but there may be others from the different departments, so. I mean, where are you as far as people is concerned?
I think, you know, that one is a tough question because, I don't want to sit here and say I need more people, because I want to balance that with the amount of time that is taking to accomplish our goals. And if that amount of time is reasonable, then the answer to that question would be, okay, we're okay. But if we're starting to get to the point where offices are having operational problems, then, you know, we should assess two things. Is there a better way we can do it? And do we need more people to address that? So, you know, when I look at what's happening here, you know, I mentioned that complexity of the 3-tier system and all of that. So that's a huge time sink for us right now in the IT department. And once we're past that deployment, we're gonna recapture some time. And, we're gonna have more time to spend on other projects. So, I think that method of thinking is, there's gonna be a point where we probably are gonna need some more people, if we continue this trend.
Do you see next 3 years adding a staff within the 3-year period?
I tell you, my focus is gonna be on making things work more efficiently. That's where my focus is gonna be.
Scott,
But
there is
I do have another question from the people.
How much is AI gonna figure into all of this?
That's a big factor. That really is a big factor. I'm watching a lot of, I'm watching a lot of software companies that deal with local government and city governments and county governments. And, they're starting to develop AI paths that, might, they could really change the labor needs, not just for our office, but for all offices. And now, right now, I think a lot of that's a gamble. There's a lot of good AI products that are available. I use AI, just myself. I used to be a horrible Photoshop person. Whenever I need a new graphic for our website, it would take me 45 minutes to an hour to come up with some kind of a graphic that kind of looked like a professional graphics artist made it. So now I can ask an AI prompt to create me a graphic for our website that's advertising a thing, and it'll do it in 3 minutes. So that's an example of how we can use the products that are out there and not have to add more staff, because we're taking care of these time sinking tasks with more efficiency.
Within your office, but then you can also teach.
Exactly.
other
And,
offices.
and I think there's a lot of things emerging. Law enforcement is another area that has a lot of AI coming to it for law enforcement. But I think that's an area of emerging technology. We don't want to jump on that boat too quickly, because then, we could deeply invest. And as fast as AI is progressing, we could end up jumping off a cliff. But, when things are solidified and, all of our people watch, state conferences and things like that, they bring me back what they've observed, and we kind of put that into the recipe and see how it works. But, so I think AI is a big factor to all staffing. Just specifically this Econics project we're working on, that's going to help our department tremendously on being able to manage servers and storage and all of those components. Just a few clicks, rather than having to go redesign networks every time we need to make adjustments and things like that. So that's our path. That's my path right now, is to be able to rethink how we do things, make things work more efficiently, and then keep our staff levels where they're at. But, as these demands happen, maybe AI is going to require more departmental level focus, and then we can't ask people to wait 5 months, for something like that if there's rapid response needed. So as it is now, I guess that's a long-winded way of saying, I think I'm okay staffing wise now, as long as we're balanced with the amount of queue time and wait time. But I don't want that to get too far out of hand, and, handicap people's ability to get things done.
However, I have another question. I'm gearing more in the area of people, because you can have all the equipment that you have, if you don't have the people to work on it or to implement it, you don't have anything. And here we're putting a lot of money on equipment and all that. One of the other concerns that I have is that you're talking about that we are in the 25th percentile of salaries. Is this something that is a major problem? Is this something that we need to look at? We're talking about a 2% increase, but, and we have done some bumping on salaries, but not necessarily, not in my opinion, the amount that we should have done, in particular in areas like yours.
Yes.
And I've seen that a lot of the salaries of people that are in your field, and they're much higher than what we're paying our folks, and that kind of concerns me. So this is something I think that we need to take a look at as a separate, something. I'm not sure exactly what that is or how much or when I'm not talking about amounts. I'm talking about the concept of being paid at 25% percentile of the salaries.
Yeah, I think, one thing that I would ask for the council to consider is, as the people we have, as they get more tenure, and I promote skills growth a lot in our department, and that just helps diversify and make them more effective in their job role. But as they learn these skills and as they get more time and more experience, they become much more, valuable.
Valuable.
Yeah,
And the
valuable.
salary can also be reflected in training that we provide to those people to grow. I don't know if you have anything, of that in the budget per se, or not?
We do a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a combination of, I mean, if you can overwork somebody and there's no, and that individual has nothing to share, I mean, if you're thinking about, oh yeah, but I'm going to this class, I'm growing, growing from a professional point of view, and yes, I am getting some salary behind it, maybe not enough, but there's a compensation in there. We may be able to I'm concerned about the retention of people also.
Yeah.
That has an impact on salaries.
That's right. And our people we have now they're between 3 and 5 years of tenure. So, they're getting to that spot that, that's where the big recruiters are starting to hire people with certain skill
Because
sets.
for the 3 new ones, about, what was it, 3 years ago? We almost had to rebuild the whole department from a people point of view.
Oh, yeah, we did it in 2016, I think that was.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's 2016,
Yeah,
I think
it's,
that happened.
it's more like 10 years, George.
Time flies.
And that delayed us on a lot of things that needed to be done and created a lot of problems throughout the entire organization. And anymore, you have all the deputies out in the street and everything like that, and everything else. If we do not have the technical support, they cannot hardly do anything. So I think if there is an area that we need to pay real attention on people from a salary point of view and training and all that kind of stuff, would be this area. It has a tremendous impact, in my opinion.
So Scott, your overall number is about 11% increase in your budget, right?
Yes, sir. About 11.
And your equipment upkeep, is that a must? The 58.86% increase.
Yeah, and I think it is to finish out these, and then 2026, like the things that will drop off of the bottom of that page, we're looking at the itemized down here. The things that will drop off of that page are the network equipment replacements, the unstructured storage replacements. And then there's a little bit included there that's all together in that 55, the network and infrastructure. The other things like printers, video storage, that's the big one, the jail video storage. That one will be for about 4 years to get all of those phases complete. And then laptops and desktops, that's about a quarter of our fleet, those numbers. So every year to replace a quarter of those, probably a little less than that actually. But it probably won't kill us to skip a year if we have to. It'll put us a year behind on replacements. But I would suggest as if at all possible to keep those routine replacements rolling, and that will keep you guys as close as possible on these charts. But our storage systems, our compute systems, and our network, we are good there.
I did have a chance to look at the website and I was down there in the dungeon, as I call it. And they are making progress on it, and had some commissioners that shared with them, and so I think they're making good progress on that.
So we have an
Scott has volunteered to cut his salary in half. It's not live by the end.
That's right.
Well, I was
I think he
asking
did
for
say
the
that.
ETAs.
Yeah.
What is the ETA on the website?
We are going to have it done by the end of this year. And I know I'm on record in this very room saying we're gonna have it done by last year, but we're past our obstacles now.
We
so.
mean it this time.
We mean it this time.
I love it.
I remind you, Scott, you're on YouTube, so the whole.
That's right.
Yeah, he's put us on it too.
That's right. No, we're real excited about that project.
Well, it's really cool. Hate to interrupt. No, I don't. But it's very cool. And when somebody mentioned about AI, I think is Greg. AI will be somewhat built into the new website. For example, on the front page, AI will determine what the biggest requests are from the community
Yeah.
and pre-populate those things on the front page. So
And then if you have a new one, it'll help you answer that question or know where to link to and connect to. So it's pretty neat. It'll be a forever project, which is good.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And forever ongoing.
Oh, okay.
As someone who works on websites for a daily living, it is constantly
Yeah.
a daily project.
And, one of the things we gained out of that, while we're on that topic is, talking about the staffing and the priorities we have kind of what I call a 3-bucket tier system. We have the first bucket, which is things where if Todd calls me and says the 911 center's down, they can't dispatch, that's our first bucket of priorities.
Yeah.
And then, we have ongoing projects or complex type of scenarios we have to solve. That's our middle tier. And then, lastly, and unfortunately, the website has been in this 3rd tier for, a couple years now. And, that's the one that, okay, we work on that until these other 2 take it over.
To be fair to Scott, we're
Yeah.
doing it in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have chopped it out and got it done quicker, but it would cost us a couple $100,000. And ongoing maintenance and things like that. So it was a conscious decision. And like Scott says, when we get hit by a cyber attack or something like that, that pulls people off the website and onto more pressing issues.
And we try to keep it balanced. We want to see some progress consistently, but.
Honestly, if they would reduce the number of cyber attacks, we'd really appreciate that.
That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Like that too.
That would be great.
I have a couple follow-up questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I dreamt this. I thought you were gonna update our Microsoft version.
Yes, that's one of our big projects that's
Okay.
going on right now.
Okay,
So,
sweet. Second thing, every now and then we have people come through with grants where they're like, hey, I can get a laptop, or I can get these cameras, or I can get an iPad. There's been a few times that I know of where they worked through your office. We didn't get that equipment soon enough and we lost that grant funding. So then we had to do general fund. How do we flag stuff, or how do we help our department heads flag stuff to you? Like, hey, I have to spend this by X date, or it's gonna start coming out of the general fund. Cause there's a few examples of that. And I think it's a communication breakdown,
I think so
honestly.
too. Because this is actually the first I've learned about missing grants.
Okay,
I know we work with Shannon frequently.
Yep.
She, example on cameras, door
Yep,
systems and
totally, all that.
lots of that. And then there were a couple people in the prosecutor's office that we would work with routinely. And that helps with a few people
Yep.
over there.
Yep.
But I think the best way to do that is honestly, even if I don't put a number in the IT budget, to treat that as a project plan for the year.
Okay,
So when I send out those requests to the department heads that say, hey, what do you guys anticipate, do you need, or can we have a conversation about a challenge? Those kind of things, like that's how that first email goes out. And if we can talk about that during the planning phase, I treat the budget as not only numbers, but also labor and planning.
totally.
And then we can get that on, and that way it never gets missed.
Perfect, because I think that's really where the breakdown is. People
Yeah.
just don't flag it appropriately, and I'm like, did you rattle his cage and tell him?
Yeah.
Or when you presented it, so that's why I was like.
And sometimes
is-
you gotta rattle hard.
Well, I mean, because you got, let's just be honest,
Yeah.
911,
Yeah.
like, that's life or death. So like, sometimes like a new computer for some project that's not life or death needs to take second fiddle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I know PIA also, a lot of times, we always look for ways other than county general money to fund things, projects and things like that. I know the jail has commissary monies that a lot of times they will try to contribute to those things, but so I'm always conscious about that, but yeah, grants, that's something we don't want to miss.
Yeah, totally.
That's an opportunity, yeah.
okay, so my follow-up is very selfish in nature. Are email limits on memory?
Yes.
Is there a question in there?
Is there anything?
I think that was a statement.
Is there anything we can do about that? Because as someone who's not on the laptop every day checking my email, and I've tried to use folders, but I think my folders are still counting against me based on the amount of emails I'm still getting saying I'm reaching my limit, and the amount of emails I send to other elected officials that say this person's inbox is full. It's
Yep.
not a great look.
That's right.
So is there something we can do to increase at least those of us who are not everyday users, but get huge files sent to us on the regular to increase our email inbox size?
There is absolutely, now, it won't be infinite.
I'm not asking for infinite. I'm
But,
not asking for infinite.
Microsoft 365
Yes.
is going to open a much larger ratio to that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think I heard a volunteer for one of our very first mailbox migrations.
I would be more than happy to be any asset for your office to help with migration.
And you are right, the email management is a challenge for all of us.
Okay.
It's rough, especially, I mean, the email system we have in play today was originally architected in 2012.
Right.
And so that architecture is way beyond its life.
Yeah.
And the storage limits is what keeps it alive. Yeah, and so the work underway now with the Office 365 and integration, that's going to be a whole new world for us.
Perfect. It just as an elected official, I hate when constituents tell me, I tried to email you or tried to email this person, but your box was full. And I'm like, no.
So get with me afterwards and
Okay.
we'll see if there's any temporary relief that can happen. Because we do have a second notch.
We
that
don't
we
apply
can-
to anybody else.
Nobody else has inbox issues?
Anybody else have had problems?
We've not been on long enough. Like,
Do
I'm
they
just
know they
like-
have email?
I am like constant.
Yes, I shut mine.
Well, it might be because I get a lot of economic development email and those puppies are large.
Huge attachments, yeah.
So I'm constantly like, I just emptied my inbox and I don't want to delete everything because I also use my inbox as a filing system. Like I said, I have my folders there and I don't want to move them somewhere where I can't find them.
Scott,
Yeah,
now that I look at mine, I have like 10, your mailbox is almost full, so yeah, maybe I need to.
There you go. We'll see if we can get you guys to tier 2 at least.
Yeah.
Right. That would be amazing.
So when we delete, do we have to go and clear our
Yes,
deleted
you
folders?
gotta go
Yes.
delete your deleted.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
deleting's not enough. Delete your deleted. Or you will, I learned that the
Feel
hard
it.
way too, because I was like, I deleted. Nope, I didn't delete my deleted.
I don't delete my deleted.
I purge about every 3 days. Is great.
I feel like that's me right now too.
Yep, I feel you.
Okay,
Let's see, I think that was everything I had. As far as presentation wise, just questions and this, I mean, we didn't spend any time on this sheet, just, it's pretty self-explanatory how it reads, but, one item that's kind of hidden there is, I do a lot of risk-based decisions. And, the little box on the second column oval that has the colors, it's a risk score that, and it's composed of.
It's hard for me to show that.
Yeah, it's hard to see all of it at once, isn't it? The status of the vendor and, things that I'll look at the vendor is the financial stability of the vendor, the support quality of the vendor, the technology level, if the software is a dated technology versus a modern technology. History, have we had problems with them? Is the software or the system functioning like so? A lot of different, attributes go into the risk scoring. But this is the first year I've added this on here, but it's really helpful to kind of scan down through here and see where are your red blocks at. And those would be the items to pay first attention to as being potential issues. And some of these are, expense related. A vendor has tried to double our cost in the past 2 years, but I've had to fight. Or they're unreasonable. If you have a service provider that is saying they're going to increase the prices because of tariff, it makes you ask the question, what product are you receiving a tariff on?
Yeah.
Because you are providing a labor service to me, for what product? So those are conversations that I've had with vendors that are trying to increase our prices. And most have backed off, but not all of them. So that would be expense risk, things that, are red flags like that.
We're very fortunate to have Scott. He watches that stuff like a hawk. He really does.
Yeah, they do. Vendors don't.
He's our own hammer.
this flags actually me for something that I have a question for the commissioners, but since we're talking about it with you, Scott, Under our liability insurance policy, do we have a cybersecurity clause for
Sure.
any damages or issues we?
We're investigating that aggressively right now further.
Digging into that.
The answer is yes, but we found it's not sufficient, so we're
Yeah.
looking to get a little deeper. Is that fair to say, guys?
Enhancing that a little bit.
Like most insurance policies, they look to deflect.
Absolutely.
We got a pretty big deflection on a couple things, so we're looking deeper.
Okay, good. You're reading my mind.
Good deal. And then, I don't know, as you read this, you see the years at the top of the page, and the purchase dates is usually where the numbers are, and then it just kind of stacks on top of each other. And this is a working document, so it's always getting updated, it's always changing. And this is just a snapshot. You know, one example, about halfway back in there, there's a monitoring system we use that we purchased in 2019, and maintenance was about $3,000 a year. And they came to me and said, we're increasing that to $33,000 per year. And I said, no, thank you. So, you know, we went out to look and we found a product that's of zero cost. So we're gonna implement that to replace our monitoring system and just drop that. And that's a constant juggling game. They just have to juggle all of them. And, you know, printers, we have a lot of printers and copiers throughout the county, and those are on 5-year depreciations.
Printers will last 5 years in this.
I personally, I think they should last longer than that.
Yeah, but they're crap anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem is,
Yeah.
you know, we're getting ready to go out. We issue an RFP for a new print services contract.
Okay.
And one of the requirements in that is to not be one brand specific. We're getting a brand of copiers that just don't last. They're just not lasting very long. And we should be able to get 7 to 10 years out of those with maintenance. You know, if we're paying for maintenance, we should be able to get 7 to 10 years out of them.
I don't
That's my
disagree.
opinion. But then again, that's based off of, you know, HPs and Lexmarks that you would get, you know, that were real reliable.
Yeah, why did we change brands?
It was the print services contractor that pushed that brand. So
How's that going?
we're pushing back.
I've not heard good things about that brand.
Yep. And, yeah, that RFP is probably gonna go out in, later this month, actually.
Perfect.
And then the video systems, this will be one that we'll have to start absorbing, all of our courtrooms, have the Zoom systems and the displays. And, you know, really, there's no reason, you know, that display, there's no reason to replace it if it's 5 years old, but still working perfectly. So, you know, I think we'll be a little dynamic about that, but the numbers here reflect if we say, okay, it's depreciated 5 years from now, this is the cost to move it forward.
So these are gonna hit your budget on this last page every year. You're budgeting for it now. I'm thinking about, Todd had come in and had some big expenditures over the next 5 years. I'm sort of looking at some of these expenditures you have on here, sort of like I do the sheriff's department. Hey, we're gonna hit you every year 90,000.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. And that's just distributing it over multiple
Yep.
years rather
Yep.
than a big $1.5 million
Yep.
project.
I like it.
Yep. And that trend line on the last page is kind of the sum of all that data.
Yep.
On that
Keep
very
it-
final page.
Keep it as flat as possible.
That's right, but don't pay too much attention to those last 2 years. Yeah, I think that's a false positive on that until we get more data closer to 2032.
Blame it on tariffs.
There you go. We'll blame everything on.
Set the bar high, Scott. Good job.
Thank you. All right. Well, Greg, you put the pressure on.
You delivered.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you. And thanks for the support with our recording
You bet.
and stay in
I'm glad you
compliance
guys
with
are
the
here.
law.
Like you bored today. So since they're here, you available if they have questions?
Sure.
Okay. Who needs this? Oh, okay.
I don't know, have you share the WOW reports?
Welcome, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
How are you?
We are good.
I love how you all dressed up for us.
It's for you.
Larry, you lost your tie.
I am what?
You lost your tie.
I did lose my tie. This
Good
is
for
the
you.
new modern Larry. I don't wear a tie.
Modern Larry, I love it.
With AI, didn't you?
When Paul Frankie accused us of, our dress code went to hell when COVID hit.
I feel this.
Didn't he, Paul came into our meeting one day and kind of said that.
And
Let me
none,
have it.
none of us had a tie on.
Okay, thank you. Should I wait?
Yeah.
Okay,
If I start giving George stuff, he won't pay attention.
What happened?
He didn't get that. We have a handout, but we thought we'd wait.
we're, glad to be here today to, go through this with you. And I think what we'll do first, let's just go through the budget for 26 that has, the typical 100s, 200s, 300s and 400s in it.
Yep.
We'll do that first, and then we can, show you our seated, budget for 26. And then we've got, an estimated budget for the next 5 years. Yeah, 5-year plan for our seated, expenses. And, we'll take any questions as we go here, okay?
Perfect.
So, first off, on our 100s, again, the salaries and wages, we figured a 2% increase on our wages in that category. All of our employees that are in our department there. The one change that we are proposing to make, and I said, the county commissioners, we do not do this lightly, but we would like to take a part-time position from our animal control department and make it a full-time. So we would have 2 full-time people there and 1 part-time.
Can we ask questions as you said?
Go ahead.
Can you give us a little bit more rationale? What's going on with the animal control department? That we need to do that?
We will give you several rationale, George. I would say animal control, and, that whole arena, has consumed a lot of our time in the last 2 or 3 years. We currently probably have, in my 22 and 2/3 years tenure, we have probably one of the best animal control head officers that we've ever had in my tenure, Dean Satterfield.
We'd like to keep him.
And we'd like to keep him. That's exactly right. That being said, there was a period of time when he had no part-timers in 2024. And since December of 2024, they've hired and trained 5 individuals, and we've kept 1. And those 4 that left were all able to go get a full-time position
Okay.
at something.
So,
And this is getting to be a kind of a frustrating issue for Dean in particular. I mean, it is frustrating to train somebody
Sure.
and keep them about a month or 6 weeks at tops
Has
and
the
then
volume
lose
of
them and start over again.
Has the volume of requests, been higher than it has been in the past? At one point in time, there was a tremendous request and there was a group of people who were very active in the community. Are we still seeing that, or?
Our calls,
Decided?
our calls are high. They all go through dispatch. All of the calls go through 911 dispatch.
Right.
So they're the ones that actually call our officers out. But what you have to understand about our animal control office is it's really a 24/7 operation.
Right.
Somebody's always on call. Well, part-timers don't want to be on call.
Right.
And so a lot of this falls on one man's shoulders, our directors, and he's running up so much comp time, he can't use it. And so, it's impossible to run a 24/7 operation with one full-time and two part-time employee. And we feel like, the additional, to take one of the part-times and put it into full-time is a good step. Yeah, it certainly adds stability. It doesn't necessarily solve all of our problems. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it won't. We're all sure it won't. But
How are you?
we can't cover vacations.
Okay, well, that's what I was gonna ask. How do you foreshadow these two full-times working? Overlapping, complementary? Like, is one of the full-time gonna be working over the weekend? Like, how do you envision that?
So currently, we don't go out on the weekends unless it's an emergency. They're on call,
Okay,
okay?
We have
So,
a pretty strict after-hours policy.
okay,
right, yeah.
We don't go out to chase away a raccoon off your
Right.
deck or to chase away a cat.
right.
But we get many requests for that.
I'm confident you do.
If the call comes through dispatch, our guys are gonna go.
Okay.
Okay? And what's happening is that we cannot keep people. Nobody wants a part-time job.
Yep.
The people that have left said, boy, if this was full-time, I could stay.
Yeah.
And so we need to be able to fully operate a 24/7 on-call situation.
Well, and don't forget the holidays too.
Well, I mean, sure, of course.
No,
And they're going out in certain situations.
Yep.
And so, we feel like this is a good first step, that will alleviate some of that pressure, without having to hire an additional headcount. But it will be, I believe we estimated at about $21,000 increase from what we're doing now. But the demands, George, to your first question, yes, they are growing and they continue to
well-
grow. And more people are becoming, I didn't really want to go into this, and we have the board, some from the Humane Society Board. There are a lot of irresponsible pet owners out there.
right, they are.
And they're causing a lot of havoc and causing a lot of problems for the people who do responsibly take care of their pets. And we need more support with that.
But
Did you
I
get
wanna, the reason that I asked the questions, I wanted to understand the rationale. I know that there has been some issues in the past. I don't know whether they were still there or not. I understand about I didn't realize that the part-time issue, holding people in that position was that big of an issue. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, it really, we can't keep people in the part-time position. We lost a very good employee because they needed full-time work.
They'll get benefits as well.
They will get benefits as well. We've set the salary, I believe, at $48,000.
Is the salary comparable? Is that an
Probably
issue,
low.
or it's just a part-time?
It's probably low.
We think we can work with that salary for this job.
But the 48,000 is not all new because you're netting out the part-time.
Yeah.
We think it's about a 21,000%, or $21,000 increase.
I don't know how
Again,
you
it's,
would even keep up. I mean, I'm supportive of this totally.
Yeah.
And I'm supportive just to get a full-time person and not taking away one of your part-time people. Because we talked before about giving them on-call, a call-out stipend for coming out. You get a full-time person, it's kind of hard to pass the buck around.
Mark,
I'm supportive of you come in today and say you need to fill it now, full-time for the rest of the year. I'd be here to say yes.
Mark, if we had five full-timers, they'd be busy.
I'm in agreement with you.
But,
I'm
we want
totally
to,
supportive too.
we want to be responsible. We want to do everything we can, but we're cognizant of the pressures on the budget.
Yep.
And we don't want to overstep. We don't want to overwhelm, our
I think we've
director.
known this is coming. You guys talked to us quite a bit.
We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to make that increase.
We need to start looking at putting people where the need is
Mhm.
And there are some people that are currently that we probably don't need them as much, and we need to start balancing the head
Animal
count.
control is needed.
We try to, we've spent so many resources on this issue the last 4 years, really. But we try to keep track that we are animal control. We partner to an extent with the Humane Society, and we support their mission with animal care and animal welfare. But we are animal control. If we're animal welfare, we're asking for 10 people.
And
And we're
a
gonna have-
facility.
We're gonna have answering networks where we have people taking calls and we're encouraging calls. But that's not our job. Our job is animal control, and we're trying to keep it at that. And we're trying to politely and appropriately deflect those requests, because we have a certain portion of our population that would like to see the county be animal welfare. And go out and solve all of the evils in the world centered around pets. And we're concerned about that, and we want to help and fix those, but we're animal control.
3 o'clock, 911 call.
Um,
There's a cat meowing outside their house. 911 call.
But we need stability in our department. We have a great director. And we've had good people in the past.
Yeah.
But the on-call is what's driving people away. It's a lot.
Yeah, with,
Especially-
with the death of Mark Case, we had, two fairly elderly gentlemen who were our part-timers.
Now
And,
both of them are gone.
and by golly, in the course here of 3 months here in 2025, both of those gentlemen died. But they both, resigned or retired. And that really, and so there was almost a point there where we had, well, it was those two part-timers.
Well, they said
Then
the
when
new
Dean
commission.
came on, then they kind of felt like that was their chance to get out, because they really wanted to get out. And
I hate like heck, and I know you guys are the same way, adding people, because they never go away. But I can honestly say, I really feel like we need this help in this department.
Well, these guys said, if we don't, the newest commissioner has to go out on the roads and get the pets.
And we all want to video.
When you go.
Well, I'm always gonna be the newest commissioner, so.
this isn't just though a Bartholomew County problem. If you go back, last winter, I think there was, the richest county in the state of Indiana, their animal shelter was busting at the seams.
Yeah.
So,
It's a function of population. The more population we have, the more
yeah.
demands we have.
It's a function of population. It was also, again, we've talked to not only the people of Humane Society, we've talked with, Dr. Brooke Case. We've talked with other people in that, pet arena. It was a function of the whole COVID, situation. People were stuck at home. I could not believe that in big cities, you could have got $250 to $500 for a kitten. Okay, people wanted somebody at home to cuddle other than a human being. And now that the world has evolved 3 or 4 or 5 years later, there is just kind of an overpopulation. And some people just didn't love an animal quite as much as they thought they did. And Bartholomew County isn't alone. And it probably also speaks to the pains that our own Humane Society are facing as well. So that is our request when it comes to wages and salaries, is that's the particular big item. And then there under line 12,000, we do want a stipend and some overtime money in there to help supplement that animal control department with those weekend calls. And so that is a new item. So those are the two new items there.
I do believe we're doing that now.
Yes,
Yep,
I believe we came and
passed
got an
that.
additional at that point, but this would be going forward in the budget.
What's it?
we've got,
well, it was, they had a gift,
it was a gift
so
that
they
we're
had,
using this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so next year it's gonna,
but I think 25 is substantially more than what you were estimating. the revenue for
26?
this year.
26 is substantially more.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was
Yeah, because
5,000.
this was just for
Yeah,
last
I mean,
2 or 3 months of
What
it.
you are doing for the rest of this year was about $5,000 or $6,000, if I remember right. So annualize that have been 10 to 12. So you're thinking you need substantial more next year.
Well, it would be pretty close to 4 quarters. If we did 1 quarter this year,
We did 2
We did.
at 5.
2 quarters,
Mhm.
Correct.
this was the placeholder.
Yeah.
Numbers, calls are going up.
Under our employee benefits, not too much control over some of those expenses, Social Security. I think the auditor's office estimating an increase of 5%. Our group insurance, we're recommending an increase of 3.7%. And our retirement contributions, it is going to take about 5% to stay on par there.
And our group insurance, just so I fully understand, is that what we're contractually obligated, or is that to keep us at the 5 million?
That's what our TPA estimates
Okay,
that we will need to stay where we are.
To keep reserves.
That's stop loss insurance plus funding the reserves.
You mean reinsurance? Stop
Yeah,
loss?
reinsurance.
Yeah, that's everything.
But correct me if I'm wrong, that will be augmented by the employee increase.
Just a small amount, George. Yes.
I realize that, but that's gonna be augmented. correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
That's
I mean, that's what I thought I heard you earlier.
And that is funded, the way we fund that is we fund it at the worst case scenario.
Right.
We have a number that they give us. Absolute worst case, we're gonna pay 7.2 million.
Yeah.
And then everything else above that would be covered.
But
So we budget accordingly. Anything extra stays in the benefit trust. That's how we build a balance.
I do have a question in the budget, though.
Yep.
I don't know whether we are budgeting based on a total family, or is it a family and individual cost, or how are we calculating?
the cost of our
the
insurance.
cost of,
Is it
yes,
based on enrollment?
It's based on enrollment. It's based on the number of souls on the plan.
I think, Pia, do you have a opinion on that or a
So some may
practice?
be a family, but some may be a
I
single.
think we
Right.
tell them to budget for families, don't we? And then they adjust accordingly. They're talking about individual departments. If they have 10 employees, I think we assume that they're gonna be 10 families.
Yes.
And if they're
Not
less,
necessarily.
not necessarily, okay.
No, we budget based on,
Head count.
on what
Okay.
they're.
So she goes through it to have a more accurate payment.
Same day.
Okay, good.
So I would assume that you got an analysis.
We did.
From the TPA, and it said, hey, approximately $3.398 million.
Yes.
And then any open positions that may be considered or
Yeah.
replacement of people.
Then there's not an expense drawn against it. So
Right.
the money stays in the trust.
Right, it'll stay in the trust, but if there's a replacement and someone is not taking insurance that leaves,
I'll talk to them.
and you may budget at something,
Well, I think again,
but this.
keep in
number
mind,
is-
there's 3 different revenue streams that come into our benefit trust. Number 1 is what we request from the county council.
Okay.
That's fixed. That's gonna be paid. The other one is employee contributions. The other one is department reimbursements to the county. And I think that's the one that can change. If we have if they have two open positions for 6 months, then I would think that their reimbursement to the county probably will be less, but the demands will be less as well. But those other two are pretty fixed. The amount in our budget and then the copay from the employee, unless the employee's position is open, then there's no copay.
But we also don't have an expense of the,
There's also no expenses taken against it.
The advantage of our TPA is that they watch that very, very closely. And they've handled our program for quite a few years now. And they're very cognizant of sort of the comings and goings of our employees. And so they have been pretty Johnny on the spot as far as the numbers that they give us. We're running, I think they gave us, we're running at 78% claim, which is below 80 is good and solid. And I think we have one laser. And so our program is strong. But yes, our TPA will keep us advised if there's anything different about it.
Now, I might add, Carl, if it's okay, we are increasing the copay 2%, and we've tried to,
Premium.
the premium of, right,
The
for
employee
the
contribution.
employees, right. And we've tried to do that the last few years, and I think that's our plan moving forward, so that it's a minimal gradual increase. Couple things we try to keep in mind, our taxpayers fund this health insurance plan to benefit our county employees, and we really try, I know at times people are mad at the commissioners, but we really try to take care of our employees, we really do. In many cases, they're our friends, their family, but we have to balance it with the taxpayer that's funding this. And we have, the last 3 months, we have dealt with some very difficult situations where you have special requests, special needs, extreme illnesses, and you have to decide, does the plan fund this or does it not? And so the two things, we're worried about our taxpayer that has to fund it, because if we would fund everything, our costs could double. Or if we provided care for everything, our employee premium could double or triple.
Easily.
So anyway,
how does the cost of a traditional PPO insurance compare to, what we do here?
it's higher. We actually discussed that the other day. I made a comment that wasn't received real well, but
Our pricing
had
is
to
very
be
good.
thought of.
No,
What
I
if we
feel like it
switched?
is good. I was just
Our
curious,
pricing is
like,
very good. And it's one of the ways that we, many, many times, public employees don't get paid what they would in the private sector. And this is one of the ways that we can help make up for that.
But I was just gonna say to you that this is a benefit that our employees are getting that is not taxable on their pay.
That's right.
So this is they may not get the salaries commensurate to what's going on in the community, but they are getting a benefit that is not taxable, that is fairly good.
You're right, George.
Leah, I think, because again, we had a meeting last week or the week before, and I asked the question, what if we went with a major insurance company and did away with our self-insurance? And one of the first things that would happen would be our employee premium, which for a family right now, does anyone know the answer? The specific number for a family?
Like
$110 a pay-ish. So that's $220 a month. It would immediately double
If not,
if we went with a major company, because that doubling, everything else might stay the same. Our county costs might stay the same. But my point is, we feel like our employees are getting a really good benefit by being self-insured. Because we're keeping the insurance company from making a profit. At least the administrative wing of the insurance company. I know there's plenty of profit in it, Michael. But I think we pass that on to our employee, and if we went with an Anthem, or what's another big Blue Cross Blue Shield,
Or United.
Medical.
our costs might stay the same, our big budgetary costs, but I think our employee premiums would at least double.
They're gonna budget at least 15%.
Husband, wife,
Profit.
and kids, $220 a month.
$220 a month, okay, $110 a pay. That's what I said.
You
So
guys
if we
don't
went
wanna
with a
know
big
anything.
company,
Oh, do you pay?
I
the-
pay less than that for my
the
family.
employees are the ones that would feel it.
I
I
can tell
think-
you, I can tell you this for the local school system.
Get past
My
that.
wife has insurance for her and the kids, and it's double our.
Have you guys
To know.
seen
That's good to
any,
know.
with a big, I'm not sure whether it's a big beautiful bill or executive order, but I believe that there was a thing about asking the pharmaceuticals to whatever price
Favored
we.
nation status.
Yes, where are we? Are we seeing anything on that from our?
No. No.
Well, Tony was reading about that last time he was at the Gulf of America vacationing. I said, Tony was reading about that when he was at the Gulf of America vacationing.
Go for it. That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
There's been nothing happening on that yet.
Yet.
Yeah, I do know that the pharmaceutical companies are fighting it, and I'm seeing some ads that, say no to most favored nation status, because it's gonna be terrible for the American workers.
That's too bad.
My experience is that a PPO plan usually is about 10 to 15% higher overall. The self-insured plans are generally where you can control the cost. You can educate your employees about, consumer-driven healthcare, right?
And you can adapt policies that reward or penalize.
Yeah.
When you're building these funds up to pay claims in the future, that will level out, things a lot smoother than, because, my experience in that is also that 3 out of every 5 years, you beat the insurance company's average. You beat the tar out of it by 20+%. 1 year you lose,
Yeah.
and 1 year you break even. So
we're
really,
betting on
4 out of the
ourselves.
5 years, you're fine.
But they make a profit all 5 years.
Oh, yeah. So, and then the biggest, best year that the health insurance companies ever had was 2020, because nobody had discretionary health claims.
Right.
They didn't have to pay for hip replacements.
Yeah.
But yet your
Now,
premium still stays.
I will add to that, just so you know, and it's not all gloom and doom, our benefit trust is in good shape. Our auditor has helped us build up, we have a $5 million balance in our benefit trust, plus or minus, it depends. But we'd like to see it keep growing a little bit. That would mean our percentages were good. But many of us here remember those days when we were struggling to pay insurance claims. We were having to make deposits today to pay bills that were hitting the bank tomorrow.
He was just talking about it.
That's not the case today. And P has been really instrumental in keeping us. We gotta pay this, we gotta have that, but we gotta continue to do that. And I remember going way back where we had a big balance in our trust and we chose to use it. We used that balance by not funding the plan. And we built a court services center. And we're talking $1 million. But we didn't budget for what we didn't do is we didn't fund the trust. We let it survive on its own. And in essence, we shifted money over the year, and that was the beginning of the difficult times we had. But that trust is there for a cushion for our employees and for the taxpayer.
Right. So if we've got $5 million plus or minus,
And that's what's there, right, Pia?
Our
Right at
annual-
5.
our annual total group insurance for this, is it?
7, 8 million.
It's about 7.5 million.
Worst case scenario, 7.2, I think is what.
I think it's,
Well,
In those
the
numbers.
worst case scenario is one thing,
yes,
practical expected,
is 85% of that.
yeah, so it's, probably 5.5 million. Okay,
Ish.
Yeah.
So if
Little
we
more,
could
but-
we can get that reserve up to a full year number.
We can.
You-
And the last 7, 8 years, it's grown 500,000 a year.
Mark and I remember
seen
very well when we had to
Yeah.
come in and supplement that. And it was a hard times, those years. We
There
had
were
to
a few
make-
meetings, we had to take a collection. We had to
George,
pass the plate.
I heard you had to write a post-dated check one time, just to.
Pardon me?
No. You had to cover it
Yeah,
with one
but-
month hour.
But we're not in that situation now, and we need to safeguard against it.
You know, healthcare costs are going up, I think, 7 to 10% a year. And, we signed a renewal for our health policy for, our, carrier for next year. We signed it last week, a renewal at essentially the same money as a year ago. And, Kathy Dunn jumped all over. She couldn't hardly believe that she got that good a quote for us, and strongly put the pen in my hand and said, I think we better take this one. So, so that's the good news, at least for next year with our plan. Getting back here to this budget, the 200s are all essentially the same, as a very small increase there in animal control supplies. You flip the page over to the 300s.
Wait, why do you have a $40,000 fuel increase or 100%? What's the 40,000 for fuel?
No, that's the same as it was this year. We buy all the fuel for,
I think that's a column error.
No, it's in there.
Well, but on us, it shows an increase of
About-
40,000.
Of 100% from last year.
oh, no, it's the
I think
same.
it's 40,000.
0%
It's
increase.
the same.
But I thought the fuel was hitting everyone's budgets last
But
year.
we fuel vehicles in our budget.
Highway.
But doesn't that hit the highway budget? Isn't it in the highway
It's
budget?
in ours.
It wasn't last year. That's why
The
I'm
highway
looking at.
fuel's not in your budget.
Yeah, highway's not in ours. Ours is
Animal
our
control.
animal control, probably code enforcement, things
We
like
do
No,
veterans.
those aren't either anymore.
veterans service
Those
office.
aren't in your budget either.
Yeah,
And
that
And
all
what is
moved.
that, Pia?
Those are all by department now.
Okay,
That's why I'm asking, what is this
I think-
40,000?
I agree with Leah. I think that's overstated.
let me see. I'll
Well, it's
find out, 'cause that's
40,000
a
and it's the
critical
same as it
question.
was last.
I think it should be a breaking,
No,
right?
No, we're showing it was nothing last year.
Really?
We had 0 last year.
In fuel?
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. Based on what we're being given, you had 0 last year. It's a 100% increase. So that's why I'm asking, like, what is this fuel cost? Like, why is this such a big jump of $40,000 from 0?
I know we don't drive, you and I and Larry don't drive county vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, what's happening here? Okay, he's gonna get the answer. Keep moving, 3,000.
Daylene's digging there.
Okay,
Maybe she'll have an answer. It may be that we're not, Pia,
How could
or
we be 0 in fuel last year?
Tina,
I'm going back. to-
well, I know a lot of our fuel has been divvied out to the various departments.
Animal control is still in our budget, and then the jail generator and the 911 center generator,
Oh,
things like that, cover that.
yeah,
On the
But if
fuel.
that's the case, are you talking about an increase of 40,000 from last year?
They budgeted 0 last year.
I'm
Right.
sorry,
According to this, they budgeted 0 last year.
here, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't think that's right. I don't have last year's.
Well,
budget.
I'm pulling last
Mine
year.
shows that
Well,
it's
we
the
have to
same
be
as
careful
last
that
year,
we don't
40,000.
double count.
That's
No.
where I'm at. There is no. Okay, no, hold on.
It's
Called it's called gas and oil. And it's in a different line item. It's in your 2,300s last year. And this year you have fuel in your 2,700s.
Was it 40,000 last year?
Yes, it was.
So it was 2,300.
But it's not in the same line item as last year.
Oh,
But still.
Yes.
So it's not an increase, it's, okay,
But our 2025 column is inaccurate then.
Oh, for an increase.
We'll
I think it's
find
the-
out.
I think it's
Can
the
we
first
find
time.
out for
We'll
sure and
figure
let
that
you
out.
know?
Yeah, we'll figure
I
it
don't
out.
think it's critical.
Sorry, I just went through and looked for any large increases and was like, what's happening
yeah,
here?
we're not asking for any increase over last year, so it had to be a different place.
It
This
was,
is the first time I think.
Tony's
Tina
the
put
only
that
one
in.
that gets fuel in here.
No, I
Me and
don't.
Carl don't.
But like we provide some fuel for the senior
No,
citizens.
no,
center.
totally. That's why I was like,
Yeah,
what
that
is
comes
this?
out of that, but that's.
And I literally just looked for red flags, like, help me understand this, but it's because there's no 2230 line item
Under
in this
different
budget.
side.
So it looks like it was an increase.
Okay,
Okay,
Help me remember, let's find out.
yeah,
Yeah. we'll find out. Okay, well, thanks for catching that. You're close.
Yeah, no, we've got at least answers there.
Under the 300s,
Yeah.
2% increase for our legal services. We did increase our consultant services by 100,000. We have had a lot of consultant expenses this year and anticipating something with the youth services center is why we are requesting an additional 100 in there for at least some of that work related to that.
You know, and to add to that, Carl, we talked about this last week. As we've seen these dramatic increases in just inflation, sometimes it's not so much the cost of the material, but labor and time. And we've really seen it in consulting costs. This morning, we signed a engineering firm consultant agreement for a bridge, and it's just, seems like just a few years ago, they were 75, 80, 90, $100,000 one was big. And now they're, what was this morning, 158?
148.
Anyway, consultant costs have just gone up dramatically.
but that one particularly is anticipating work on the for the youth services project.
And that's under an odd caption, consulting. It's really not so much consulting as it is engineering, preparation of bid documents, construction documents, permitting.
Design.
It's not like they sit in a room and tell us what we should and shouldn't do. They do sometimes give us ideas, but yeah.
Printing and advertising, believe it or not, cost to advertise in the paper, they've got to get their income from somewhere. So Brad's not here. I'm not picking on Brad, but,
It's the same.
Tony, you want to tell them about promotion publicity for next year?
Next year
This is especially for Marcus.
and Marcus, thank you for bringing this up to us, but next year is America's 250th birthday. It's her semi-quincentennial. Learn it, know it, live it.
Good job, Tony.
Thank you very much. I've been practicing. Semi-quincentennial.
Good job.
And anyway, the city has approached us to put together a big project. We want to put $25,000 in, and they are as well. We're asking for 15,000 in our promotion budget next year. It'll be a one-time thing. Following year, we won't ask for it.
Didn't we already have some in this year?
And we have $10,000 this year, which we're gonna encumber for that, from, out of our seated,
If Pia lets us.
if P lets us. And then but anyway, that's a big special community event, and I think the idea is to do it big, July 4th.
Under insurance there, under the 341, 342, 344. That's best estimate on our liability and other coverages for everything Bartholomew County has. Workman's comp is more expensive. We, again, used to not have much workman's comp. But the way excessive amounts of claims, particularly in the jail, the highway, and the youth services center, we just had an astronomical rise in the number of workman comp claims.
You know, we had a conversation earlier those three locations, the jail, the youth services center and the highway, those are also the places where we have the most turnover.
Yeah.
And this is just another expense of losing employees and having to
Yeah.
get new employees. They don't know the routines. They don't know the safety precautions and all those things that they learn over time. But it's just interesting that that's the reason workman's comp is going up. So many new employees.
And then the next line is with all of them quitting our unemployment compensation. We've had a significant rise in claims for those as well. Let's get down to the 391, let's see, 371's the same, and 390's the same, 391. We're going to enter into, I think, a new contract with the Humane Society. We are about sure in our meetings with them that 2026 will be our 50th anniversary in working with the Humane Society here in Bartholomew County.
And no, Carl, I was not there at that meeting,
Yeah,
so. I know
Larry
what
and
you're
Tony,
doing.
or Larry and myself were not there. I'm gonna be honest, and I hope these three aren't offended, but we did some looking and shopping around. First of all, there aren't a lot of facilities to go look at. Essentially none in the county. We looked at perhaps purchasing or renting a facility that was made available to us. That figure did not near touch it for a year.
And you'd have to staff.
And we had to staff it. So going back to the point Larry made about 25 minutes ago, again, the commissioners in Bartholomew County do not want to be in the animal welfare business. We're going to try to stay out of that as long as we can, despite the requests.
But we
people.
support others' efforts.
We were, yeah.
That's why we've always partnered with HLS.
So, anyway, we have got a deal worked out for them. We hope that they're counting, they're probably hoping that we give them 250,000 next year. And we're hoping that we don't. We've got kind of a sliding scale based on the number of animals we bring to them.
Okay.
But I just want this group to know that we really tried to turn over several rocks to see if there was something more reasonable.
You know,
And
nobody wants to spend an enormous amount of money on this. We're under a lot of pressure for this. The Humane Society is under even more pressure. They have been a good partner for us for many, many years, and their costs are going up just like everybody else's costs. They needed to find a different way to look at how they receive income. We had a flat fee for the last 58 years, 59 years.
40.
40, okay. And they, and it cost too much for them to do that. So they came to us with an idea of a flat fee for the first 125 animals, and then going forward after that per animal billable on a by animal basis. And that amount will be $950 per animal. They have put into place a low-cost spay and neuter program, which to date, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, guys, has fixed
188.
They have fixed 188 animals since June. I have had many conversations with these folks, and they believe, and we agree, that the big problem is overpopulation of animals. One thing that I learned that I had no idea, and I, at my advanced age, still get amazed by people, is that people will breed their pit bull to make money for drugs. And they'll sell the puppies for drug money. And so this is not an occasional situation. This is pretty widely done. So we are going to continue our commitment to the Humane Society. We're signing a 5-year contract, no increases over the next 5 years. That was part of it.
That's
And
helpful.
that way we won't have to keep fighting this battle
Yep.
over and over again.
But the issue with the Humane Society is basically their ideology that is different than ours. Isn't that
Well,
correct?
it's not that it's different. It's that they want to be a no-kill shelter. And none of us want to kill animals. So with the low-cost spay and neuter program, which if it hasn't gone public yet, it will be available to the public, right?
Correct.
Soon, where people will be able to go and, what did you decide on, $25, $30?
This whole program lets us charge 25 for a cat and 35 for a dog.
So you'll be able to go and get your animal fixed at the Humane Society for $25 or $30. And it's a wonderful program. The commissioners helped them get it started. And
But
we
you
support.
contributed $20,000 last year, wasn't it?
What's that?
Didn't you contribute around $20,000 last year? for
We
that?
contributed 10 and they matched it 10,
Okay.
right? And they did that.
Total 20,000.
And that was, I think, this year.
Yes.
And so we feel like all those things combined will reduce the need. I mean, we're hoping they put themselves out of business. I think they're hoping that too. And
Now, I will say this here as a challenge. We need the Humane Society as a partner.
we do.
We need them to survive.
Yes.
They can't survive, now this is my opinion, keeping animals forever.
No.
And I know they don't keep any forever, but 6, 8, 10 months in a shelter is a long time just to sustain the no-kill status. So we need them to survive, and I'm hoping they can make some adjustments and changes and somehow, but that's not our responsibility.
And if you all have any questions for them, we got the board right here. Quite a few of the board members here.
So I appreciate the low cost spay and neuter, because it's about $350 to $400 to do a dog. My question is there a contingency plan if the Humane gets at capacity? Do we have any concern with reaching capacity?
We'd rather not talk about it in this setting. I mean, we do things like, we've done it before where we just can't pick up dogs, or we only pick up extremely dangerous or critical dogs. You know, we work with them closely. There have been times where the shelter is absolutely full.
Right.
Not very often, but it has happened. And, you know, we have some other options, but it's rarely happened. Now, I worry more about them folding up. That would be a bigger concern, in my opinion. And that's why we need the Humane Society to survive in our county.
And that's why I'm like, I get there was a price increase, but you guys went and did your due diligence, and to do this on our own or with a different partner is going to be even more money. So,
Triple.
yeah, so we have to be
Yeah.
in lockstep with the Humane Society because this is helping all of us.
Right.
Do you have more follow-up questions?
No, I just didn't know if there was a plan, but there is. They just wouldn't come pick it up.
Finally, the mental health line there, and that's pretty much mandated by the state. Maybe flip your page over to the 400s.
Carl, can I make a confession on that?
Yeah.
For years, I have pounded the table and I've said, oh, that mental health cost, you've heard me, is calculated into the tax rate card. It's a separate line item. Well, guess what? It's not a separate line item. It's calculated by a factor using AV of several categories. and we do collect it. And then we distribute it based on what the state tells us, using this factor that it's almost like a matrix that they use to calculate the number. So we do collect it, but it is not a specific, separate. I remember the old yellow tax card. Do any of you remember that? You could go into the auditor's office, and for your township, you could get a tax card. And it would have all these lines, and one of the lines I remember was either mental health or mental retardation. And so I thought that it was always on the tax card. Well, it's changed and it's not, so I was wrong. But we do collect it. As property tax owners, we all pay it, but it's a formula that's used to calculate based on our AV, and then we distribute that to, in our county, it's Centerstone, but in many counties, they have 2 providers, maybe even 3 providers. But we only have 1 in this county that qualifies. They have to meet the qualifications to receive those tax dollars. Carl, sorry.
The last item on the last page. And we've all shared that kind of with you, and you've tossed it back and forth. They've got 2 million in there for road overlay for next year.
So Leah, before the meeting got started, Leah said that next year the community crossings grant will go as it has gone. And she got that information in late July. So.
Oh, really?
But Leah, I truly think the council needs to think about continuing to put this in the budget. Even if, once we find out that that's the case, then we can give the money back to the general. But at this point, what the state does is completely up in the air. I know for a fact they've already taken $250 million out of community crossings, so.
Yeah, no, they've reduced community crossings, but we do not have the obligation to have the wheel tax next year to get the funds.
And that will be. Yeah, doesn't mean we're gonna get it.
That's right.
Right.
It's only qualified.
Yeah, so my suggestion is, and I think the other commissioners would agree with me here, is that we need to leave that in there for road overlay. Otherwise, there will be no road overlay next year if the state gets the idea to change back.
That's something that we're
We
gonna
got,
have
we
to.
got funding from the state next year, but there won't be any then?
No, I'm just saying they could change their mind again. They had originally said there would be no funding next year.
Oh, I thought you meant if we,
Yeah, they could easily go back and forth.
But that's something that can happen depending on how it comes out when we total everything put together. You know, when we start adding people, giving raises, making all the corrections that we need to do, not only from your department, but from others that we still have not heard yet.
Well, I can tell you this, that if it weren't for that item, our budget would be lower than last
Yeah,
year's.
Yeah.
I fully
Yeah,
understand, yeah. And from my perspective, I believe that our constituents are more inclined to make sure that we have good roads and highways than many other things that we have to support.
Well, I would suggest that we leave this as is and hope the state does what they say they're going to do. And expect the worst.
I will selfishly say though, as a commissioner, I won't say for Tony or Larry, we could always spend more money on roads. But I think you have to have confidence in us that we won't be reckless.
But at the
We
same
chose-
time, Carl,
Huh?
we've done a good job.
We've done a good job.
With the money that we have, we budgeted every year, we have different categories. And until people start messing with the funding, I think we're great in this county. We're okay on maintaining our roads, but they've messed with the funding.
We made kind of a big decision here about a month ago. We've got a slide out west of town. And, for those of you who hate chip and seal, guess what? We're not doing any this year because that chip and seal budget, we conferred with Danny and Dwight, and they felt like those two costs were just about the same, and felt like that slide needed to be addressed out there. And so
We have a road closed.
so we've got a road closed. We got one lane that is dropped significantly from the other. So, next year, assuming, say, road funding is all like, I told Dwight in a conversation, I said, instead of repaving 25-mile of road and chipping and sealing 50 or 60 miles, since we didn't chip and seal this year, we might have to chip and seal 80 or 90 miles of roads and maybe only overlay 15 or 18. We really rely on Dwight to make those determinations. So anyway.
Can I pass this out?
We're running
Yep.
out of time. We gotta run over the seated and.
I'll pass this out.
You have the seated budget for next year, and as you all look at that, basically what we've got lines, categories 2, 3, and 4 are basically the old 400s that used to be in the general budget that the commissioners maintain buildings and machinery and equipment. And so the bottom line is our total budget estimate there, $3,283,000 is our estimate for seated and capital outlays for next year. Larry passed out to you a 5-year plan. We currently have 14 properties altogether, so they count like the garage out at the youth services center as a property, okay? The warehouse out at the extension office is a building. So you'll see there that there's 14 properties listed, and our estimated expenses here for 25 on those buildings. The courthouse is just about totally wrapped up. And then as you flip through here, we have essentially made a budget of about $3 million a year through 2030, and tried to just give a rough estimate of what potential needs might be down the road. Only constant, really the only real constant in all those pages is that $480,000 debt payment on the highway garage.
Carl,
Bond payment.
I'm gonna use the term $800,000 that we talked about for the 31, the
Bear Lane.
Fair Lane, the light and all that kind of stuff. Where is that being budgeted at? Is that
That was in this year's budget.
this year's budget?
Yeah.
Or not unseated, coming out of the budget itself?
Well, we have it in for 2025, not
She
2026.
didn't include it in this. so
Yeah.
it's already.
Yeah, it's honestly, a lot of that work has already been done. Along 700 is almost done. I believe we're almost out to bid on the light. The stoplight there on 31 in Bear Lane. And then, what we're gonna do on the west side of the road is still up in the air.
Okay, and
But-
that's a meeting that
Yep.
we attended. So that's still
We're not
not,
ready to move on that yet, George,
okay.
but that will be,
So where's that money gonna come from? Seated, or is it gonna come from your budget?
we're just not, probably some of both, but we're not ready to, because we don't have any specifics there.
Okay,
We're waiting on some,
That's that 800's another ace in our card deck, okay?
okay.
we're not ready to commit on what we're going to do up there yet. So we need to do a lot more due diligence, a lot more study on that project. Still working with development.
I know that we weren't committed to a certain amount, but we were committed in going 3 ways, right? Between the Bartholomew County Redevelopment Commission, the commissioners, and I think.
Developers, the developer.
And the developer.
Yeah,
And,
We're
we're still looking into that.
okay.
Any questions? I know we've talked about a lot of different things here.
With your seated, how much do you guys like to keep in your seated account?
We keep sometimes, I mean, right now, I don't know the exact balance. We try to budget for about $3 million a year. We
Yeah.
get new monies of 2.6, 2.7 a year, and the last several years, it's gone up every year.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, as I look at these.
So we try to budget, and I work with Tina on this. We sit down and go through it. But we try to create a budget plus also account for the carryovers that we've had.
Okay,
So if you add the numbers together, sometimes they match up. And then sometimes because of I hate to use the word encumbrance because it's not really an encumbrance, but it's a carryover.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we do get 2.6 or 7 million new money every year.
right, I knew that, that's why I was
And,
like,
and sometimes we have a balance of $5 million in it.
It's 8 million. right
Is
now.
it 8?
yeah,
Okay.
it's closer to 9, so that's why I was.
Okay, so you
that's why I
have,
was like
you didn't need to ask me, right?
Well, but that, no, not, I didn't wanna ask you what the balance was,
I
I was
don't have it
asking
in
how
front of
much
me.
do you wanna keep in it, like.
A lot of that money is already spent, that hasn't been spent, okay? So
It's
already
earmarked,
It's
yeah.
earmarked for projects,
The 9 that's sitting there is earmarked for project?
not all 9. I think probably half
No,
of it.
most of it is earmarked. Yeah. Most of it has a slot to fill.
That's why I was curious, like, do you like to keep 3 million in it that's not touched, so in case you have it, cause like, as we think about rainy day funds and like.
Oh, right now,
keeping
we,
reserves.
right now, we've got money in there for the new salt barn.
Yep.
The new storage
The
building.
salt barn was budgeted in your budget.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The salt barn was budgeted in your budget,
Not in seated,
in the general.
In this
fund
year's budget, that's right. that's
yeah,
right.
because
Yeah,
of the
so
building
I don't know
sale.
why it's listed here. I don't know why it's listed on the CDID. Because it was the 800,000.
That we sold the building,
On your general fund budget.
cause we sold the, for 1 and change,
One, yeah.
and then that's what paid for the salt barn.
Right.
Sorry, I was just
Where am
trying to.
Where do you see?
It wouldn't be on that, Tony.
No, it's on it's on the front page of this, 848,700.
Oh, then it's not in our seat, then I just misspoke.
Well, it's
No,
showing there.
it is on your seated, but it's also in county general.
Right here.
Oh, on the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
So this is a double count?
So many
Is that
other
what-
places.
So she's saying it's in our county budget. Is that what you're saying, Pia?
Well, when we looked at our revenues, we just went through this process before you guys got in. We had the 1 million for the sale of the garage over there that I know offset the cost of the salt barn.
Yeah.
So but that's all counting general, but it's listed on here that it's hitting seated, so I think it's just double accounted for. I don't think it's an actual problem.
It's a good problem, because
Yeah,
those are
it's
guys.
just back in line.
We'll
Yeah.
have to double
Yeah.
check on what Cindy's talking about. See what it shows on the plan.
Yeah.
Double count, yeah.
That's a seated.
So it's a problem.
But it shouldn't be. It's on your general. It
So we
shouldn't
need
be
to
on
figure
this.
out whether this belongs to
I
Cedar
don't see
or.
it in our budget, though.
Yeah, it was listed in 4,200 in last year's budget at 800,000.
Okay. So did we
A lot of
encumber it
files.
then? So it's there, waiting to be paid.
Just not in seated.
It's not in seated, it should not be in seated, it's in
Not in
general
seated.
fund.
Right, I
General
understand.
budget.
It's just, but it's in the general fund.
Yeah, we've got it, we've got the
Well,
money.
We can fix
Then
that.
we'll have an extra 800 in our seated.
Yeah,
We can fix
yeah.
that.
No, it's a good problem.
We, extra 800 there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already 3 million we ought to look at.
Yeah.
No, we're looking everywhere we can.
Sure. Anything else for us?
Are you staying for Parks Department? Because I do have a question for Parks Department that will impact your seated.
I can.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Did she ask if we were done, or did you?
No, I asked if they had any other questions.
I'm good, this has been great. I appreciate you
You know,
gentlemen.
One last thing, if I could say, and then I'll shut up and leave. We have talked with the council on multiple occasions the last couple of years, and it goes back probably a decade, about shortening our county office building hours to 4 o'clock. we are supportive of doing that. And just wanted to state that. You know, some of our county offices have already done that, specifically the courts. It kind of puts us in a difficult position with perceived fairness. And we would like to do that.
That's a subject, I don't disagree with what you're trying to do. However, that is a bigger subject that I think that we need to address from a salary point of view also.
Okay.
It's not only the discrepancy on the number of hours, but it's also a discrepancy on how we pay people. In essence, if you reduce the 1 hour a week, a day, okay, which is $5 a week, do we do something with the salary? Do we get a lesser increase? You know, what is it that we do? That's gonna be a conversation that we're gonna need to have in the council.
We just knew that when we decided to put the brakes on that back in the spring or in the winter, we said we'd revisit it in budget.
Right, and it's
And
part
so-
of the budget process, but what I'm saying, the issue on the hours is greater than just comparing with what happened in the courthouse. It also means there's a discrepancy in salary, so
This
we
is nothing different, George, than 40-some years I've seen in county governments. You do one thing for one office, somebody's gonna want it over there too.
But it's really
And
not
this
a
pro-
reduction
and
in
this
hours.
progress-
It's not a reduction in
Well,
hours.
if
at
I
all.
can-
No, it's not.
Yeah. the
It's a
courts-
reduction in hours open as the county, but
Right.
it's not a reduction in paid hours. You're still working 8 hours and 20 of those, 20 minutes of that 8 hours is a paid lunch. So they're still working 40 hours a week.
And we've looked into the state through Jim Shove, but the courts have ruled that an 8-hour day with a paid 20-minute lunch break equals 40 hours a week. Now, whether, I'm not that way, and many of you are not, but I'm supportive of it for our employees and for our building. I think our community adjusts.
Larry, we talked about this a lot through the years with the council that I know we've had discussions with council members and you guys that, when we gave pay raises each year, we'd look at that. And it's always Bill Lentz sitting over in my ear every year, wanting to go to 37.5.
Yeah.
If we couldn't give a raise or something, that's a benefit for
Yeah.
doing something. And we're going into some lean times too. I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for us to consider that.
Yeah, well, we're always concerned with ghost employment. Our legal advisors have always been, Grant Tucker was a real stickler on ghost employment, and we had a couple of issues over the decades. But the courts have ruled 8 to 4 equals 8 paid hours a week. Whether I like it or not, that's the way that they're willing to look at it.
But my consideration would be, does that serve the public interest? Are there departments available
Right.
for the public service? Is
And-
that 1 hour a day when we're all used to coming at 4:30 to
Yeah.
try and get in there by 4, by 5?
Well,
What does that do?
It's a good
to
point.
public
yeah,
service?
No, it's a good
that's
point,
legitimate
Mike, but-
point.
But it's the flip side of that is our employees can't go and do their business because if they were working till 5, they're always out and not able to get to their place.
I can tell you this, that we polled all the departments, the different buildings. Very little activity in here after 4 PM. Not very much activity in the courthouse after 4 PM, especially since the courts have stopped working after 4 PM. So I don't think it will be as big of a imposition as you might think.
How many employees? I don't know the number. Do we know how many it actually affects?
If we did this,
This building and the courthouse would be the main buildings.
Court service.
Yeah, the extension office.
200.
Everything but, yeah, I mean, I would bet it's 200.
200.
And then we're going around the sheriff.
You know, I do a lot of, the last 10 years, I've done quite a bit of work in Jennings County in the construction field. So I've used the health department and I've used the code enforcement and planning departments. They close at 4 o'clock. I will admit, there have been a few days I've gotten there at 4:15, thinking I'm gonna get what I need. But I learn pretty quick. And the next day, I go back in before 4 o'clock.
I think us and one other is the only ones left
Yeah,
going to
I
5
mean,
PM
it's,
in the whole state.
it's certainly on certain days to certain people, they wish, by golly, they were open till 5, but, you know, we adjust.
Can I ask what our flexibility policy is? Like, let's say a department head what flexibility do they have with their employees? I have some hourly employees that work actually they work 9/10s and then they have every other Friday off. Like, do we allow for department heads to offer flexibility on that to cover those public facing hours? Just curious.
So
I
you
have
gotta
no idea.
remember that a lot of these department heads are elected officials and they have autonomy in their offices.
Yeah,
So,
but we have to have employee policies that allow for it too, right? Or not?
we do, I think
Okay,
there's,
that's what I
I
was
think there
curious
are
about.
some people that, you know, work 7 to 3.
Okay, perfect. So we allow for that.
We're just talking about the buildings.
Publicly open.
The
No,
buildings.
no, totally. I just was thinking like, if we really want the buildings to be open till 5, but we want to allow for flexibility with employees, that type of thing, what
They
kind of?
have to get their work done.
I totally agree.
They have, I mean, this does not allow them to not get their work done.
Totally agree there.
We try to empower department heads to make adjustments. The
Beautiful.
key is, on that timesheet, they need to show those adjustments. That's the check and balance.
Right, because we don't
If
want
they
ghost
work 7
employment.
to 3, they need to show it,
Yep,
7 to
improve
3.
it.
or
Yep.
whatever it is. And I'll tell you, over the years, we have had a few occasions where that has become an issue. One, to the extreme of someone being convicted of a felon.
And times.
So it's a serious issue. The state takes ghost employment very seriously.
Yeah.
And we need checks and balances in place to protect ourselves and to
Agreed.
protect the taxpayer. And I think we've got those.
Okay.
The auditor's office has always been timesheet hawks, and they review that. And the department heads are supposed to review those before they turn them in.
Yeah.
And occasionally something is missed, but a lot of times we catch things and we make corrections. Is that fair to say, Pia?
Well, from a financial point of view is what we need to consider also, not
Yeah.
necessarily from, you know, because, you know, I mean, it is a benefit to reduce the hours, but how do we adjust that with the salaries? And that, this may be the year that we may
Yeah.
do a smaller increase and, you know, I don't know, that's an issue that we're gonna have to, we probably as a council are gonna have to get together.
George, I really don't think it's gonna have any effect on hours worked. I think the only two things are the flexibility of getting their jobs done and the hours that the buildings are open.
Yeah. Again, I don't have a problem with the work hours, on how do we work. I'm talking about how we work today, with the pay that we're giving today, how we're gonna do it tomorrow with different work hours.
It shouldn't change because right now they get an unpaid lunch.
40 hours is 40 hours. It's 40 hours is 40
I'll
hours.
tell you in parting, one thing I wish the council would look at, because it's a burr under my saddle, is longevity that we pay to county employees. We need to make sure that that payment is made to county employees.
Yeah. Is it not being,
Pardon me?
longevity pay isn't getting paid?
No, it is, but
Oh.
if some people aren't county employees, they probably shouldn't be getting it. That's my cockleburr under my saddle. You know where I'm at, Carolyn?
Oh, you mean if they're state employees?
Well, if they're state employees and they profess to be state employees and make a big deal out of it and get certain advantages because of it, why do you pay them?
We shouldn't be.
Well, you guys please discuss that. Because it burrs our county employees that have had to work differently than them, yet get the same benefit.
Valid concern. Very valid.
Just bringing it up, reminding you.
We good?
Leave us with a bird, Larry.
Leave us
It
I
is
know.
burr.
Now I'm like, how do I get the list of those?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll stick around.
Our phones are always available.
Day or night, except night.
Got it warmed up, Carl. So the real deal here, huh?
Thanks for being here.
I'm gonna stick around.
Yeah.
Be all right, Danny.
Right, okay, so you did kill something, and I know that's probably quite well good. Good for you.
I try not to bite anybody,
I saw that.
Microsoft.
Okay.
Wasting your breath.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute bio.
Figure out what they were.
A long time, we even put a sign, we even put a sign on their kennels, right? We have a
Take it away.
Hey, what? She said, take it away.
Everyone's back. Take it away.
It's his.
All right, guys, thanks for having us today. Gave you guys a little folder. I created a couple little highlights from last year, to let you know what we were doing. We did, get, 800 volunteered hours from Toyota and 200 from Cummins this last year. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't get anything done. We did use our non-reverting fund quite a bit this year, 5,000 for consulting on the playgrounds, 15 for additional consulting for the survey work for the 5-year plan. $450 was used for help for additional, for the DLZ sewage upgrade at Heflin, and ZEC 8 Insight, which is doing our 5-year plan, $4,500. We had a beautiful project that was bestowed upon us. We have a new shelter house at Newton Park that was completely donated by Boeing Engineering for a total value of almost $10,000. Boeing incurred all the cost of the project as a community give back program. It was a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful shelter house. If anybody wants to see it, I'd be more than happy to show pictures. And the pickleball courts are finally open. This project happened through ARP funds and the hard work of the commissioner's orders and the county highway department, should say, sorry. The courts are a wonderful addition to our park systems as the courts are used daily, 7 days a week, and many happy residents. We have joined with the pickleball club to start looking at money generating events to fund the upkeep of the courts. Last year, Heflin generated $40,000 and Dunn Stadium it generated $37,000 for a total of $77,000. This year's not going quite as well. The rain has killed us for camping and for tournaments. Dunn Stadium's 37% down at this point from last year. In late December, we finished, 24, we finished the completion of the Heflin Bank project from an 80-20 grant from DNR. All 20% was paid from the non-reverting fund. I kind of put this together so that I try not to ask for more money. I try to move things around and do what we can, and with the Parks Board, we talk about using a non-reverting fund as often as we can.
When you say it's 37% down, is that from last?
From last year, yes, at this point last year.
What's your goal, what's your estimate you hope to get in a year's time?
This year at Dunn, I'd be happy if we got 25. We've had a lot of rainouts this year, a lot.
Well, and also the thing that, gotta look at is the heat factor as well as the rain, for camping and for Dunn. One of the things we didn't mention in here, I don't know if nobody's seen it yet, you need to go down and take a look at pickleball court. They're absolutely fantastic. People are loving them. Pickleball people came and talked to us last year. They're running them. We told them if they have tournaments, that's fine and good. That brings a lot of people in from out of town. Keep 2 courts open for the public. The other thing that is down there that a lot of people aren't aware of is the BMX track. The BMX track at Dunn Stadium is the best in the Midwest. We had a meet there last year. It had 880 riders. We had one this year, a regional meet that brought in about 2,000 people for the weekend. Now, that's not riders, but that's families and that kind of stuff. So that's also, last year, according to the Visitor Center, Dunn Stadium generated about $1.2 million into the county. Last year's, we had about 38 weekends. That's not going to happen this year because of the heat as well as the rain.
I gave you guys a printout of mine. I didn't realize that they were going to have the percentages on there. I've cut back on my budget quite a bit this year. Of course, we gave all our employees 2% raises. We didn't increase the Dunn or Heflin managers' pay this year. Operating supplies, I did go up 5% because of the increase with the pickleball. We have to clean those bathrooms and restock them every single day.
I'm sure.
So
But I will say that the pickleball is a lot cleaner than the ball players and the BMX, a lot cleaner.
It's probably an older demographic.
It is an older demographics.
Use
I'm a-
more often, much cleaner facility.
Yeah.
There's a young lady I was watching out there, I say young, she was in her 80s. And she was, it took her 12 minutes to come from the midcourt up to the shade. And then later on, I came up there, I was gonna do some weed eating and I was watching her a little bit. And she had the biggest smile on her face when if she could reach it, she could put it away. It's like, it was like a blessing. But anyway, that's why I'm gonna increase my operating supplies by 5%. Playground mulch, we're gonna keep the same. Ball field mix, I decreased it this year because we're starting to get caught up by 28%. Grass product, just for cost, I put 2% more on it. Irrigation in-house, same thing. Did 2%. Fuel, I actually went down because we're cutting back on some of that. Professional services, I kept the same. Communication and transportation, I raised it 2%. Printing and advertising, I kept the same. Advertising, kept the same. Tree removal, I raised it 2% as well. It's getting harder and harder to get somebody to cut a tree down. And we have a lot of them. I kept the same, I did 2% on my utilities just because of the cost of living. 2% on my repair and maintenance. Rentals, I kept the same. We're doing less and less rentals, just when we have to have a specific attachment or excavator. Contractual services, which is our park board members, kept the same. Buildings and improvements, I cut it 38%. We got a lot of projects done, but there's still a few to do. Improvements other than buildings, I lowered it 7%. We're getting to where we're getting good there. A lot of the improvements other than building is bringing in stone and crushed lime to fix the roads going into some of these parks. That's expensive after a while. Of course, we're not doing any playgrounds like we talked about. We're waiting on the survey and it's in progress. It's going well. I can't wait to see it myself, to be honest with you.
It's gonna say more pickleball courts.
I think we got enough for
We're
now.
probably done for now.
We got that covered.
Parking lot repairs, there's 10,000. We're working on a project, with the commissioners. We're gonna try to do some stuff. But again, I'm not asking for anything. Machinery and equipment, I kept that the same because, we had to replace a truck this year. But the other two trucks are on their way out. They're both over 180,000 miles.
Do we have a long-term or at least a capital improvement plan for the Parks Department, like over the next?
That's gonna be part of the 5-year plan as well.
Beautiful. So things like trucks,
Correct.
skid loaders, whatever it
Yes.
is you need. Okay.
And I did one with the auditor's office with Caroline.
Perfect.
And you also made an adjustment to the equipment to buy a truck and a trailer.
So this year, we were gonna buy a dump truck, and after consulting with the commissioners and Tracy Curry and them out at the highway department, we're just gonna get a flatbed, 4,500, and buy a dump trailer, which is actually probably,
Be cheaper.
it's gonna be cheaper and it's actually gonna be better for us because we can haul the skid steer in it.
More versatility.
Yeah, you'll have more flexibility with that
Yeah.
flatbed than a dump trailer too.
Yeah. So that's what we did.
And you ended up getting a skid steer, right?
I did get a skid steer,
Did you
yes.
share with the highway department, or how did you work?
Well, to be honest with you, I shared more with the fair than I do anybody else.
Win-win.
It's a win-win. They're happy. And to be honest with you, Rick lets me borrow whatever I need to, so it's.
Barter away.
Well, we worked that deal. Okay.
Rich, how much money did you say that your department has generated?
We generated 77,000 last year.
So with the,
Would it be safe to say then, I'm looking at that if your budget for, well, if you budget for, you have spent actual for 2025, 733,000. That, that is reduced by 77,000 based on income. So actually, your actual expense is less than 600,000.
Your net expense if you net out the income.
What we generate,
He already
George,
said that his revenues are gonna be reduced this year. So the 77 was for 24.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
what we generate goes into our, what we call our non-reverting fund.
Yeah.
Our non-reverting fund is what we keep separate. for
That's why we don't come back to you for
Emergency uses and things like that. It is non-reverting. We got a project coming up where we're gonna have to take a substantial amount of money out of that non-reverting to do parking lot paving when we get all the contracts due.
So I have some money in parking lot that I incurred from last year that we're gonna, use to redo the parking lot at Dunn to match the pickleball.
Right,
I should have the last bid Friday,
Beautiful.
by the way.
but out of that, we were going to have to put some additional funds, and that will come out of our non-reverting.
Do you want to finish through? You've got one more line
I
item.
do have one more line item, and I'm pretty sure that's why you had,
You got it.
That's where she's been waiting for you to get there.
I'm like, we got one more line.
I tried to go quick.
I know.
Heflin sewage. Been a thorn in our butt for 3 years.
I know. That's why I wanted a commissioner to stay to discuss this.
Didn't I get beat up enough?
Not yet. That was me. I don't know what I did. That was me.
There you go. Stop laughing, Leah.
A project should took a year because of DLZ took 3 years. It was horrible. It was horrible. Me and Tony were just talking about it again, that we own the plans now because it's 90% done. That we're just gonna take those plans and bid it out to somebody else and see if we can get it cheaper. But that, right now, that's where it stands. And the reason, does anybody not know why the reason is that we have to do this? 4 years ago, we got hit by the health department by the state. So that started all the ball rolling. Well, come to find out, our septic system is not up to capacity to handle how many people go into Heflin Park. And on top of that, during the inspections, the septic system was put in the wrong way. It's supposed to go with the water and it's going again, like back and forth.
Towards the water.
Towards the water, yeah.
Besides that, there's no plans anywhere that shows it was ever put in.
It
Right?
was all we can find out that it's pre-76. Before permitting was
A thing.
a thing. So the state is still okay with us. They're not mad at us. There was 10 items that were, we were hit on. 9 of the 10 have been taken care of. The 10th has been tried to be addressed. So they're happy that we're trying to address the problem. But the only way to fix it is either A, pull up the existing system and put a new one in. And we can look at those costs, or we can do what we're saying here. DLZ did come back to me yesterday, Charlie actually sent it on a Sunday, that it would be cheaper to go up and over the hill at Heflin. I think that is not a viable solution because there's a cemetery on one end.
Oh, please don't do that.
So, but
And you originally thought you would be able to use some art money for it, but because of the timing that you
Yes.
mentioned,
yes,
that no longer
ARP
is
is
a
no
viable
longer.
solution.
no,
Which is why it's
Which is-
back on the budget.
totally understandable.
So Rich, does this allow you to create more RV spaces?
So yes, so right now we couldn't expand if we wanted to. I do have some plans drawn up to put some more campsites in, 13 of them to be exact.
Okay,
Um,
and what anticipated revenue generation would that be for those 13 sites? You got a number?
I don't have a number.
How many
Uh,
sites are there that have one now?
So 10 would be 350, so 350. I'd say over $10,000 a year. That's a very good estimate.
And that would go into the non-reverting.
That would go into non-reverting, yes.
And the other part of it is, this is something that needs to be done to be able to move forward. You know, the state's bought off on the fact that we're working towards it. They're not gonna buy off on that fact forever. It's just one of those deals. It's something that for the futuristic, it needs to be taken care of.
Leah, what was your question for me on there?
So this used to be art money. We moved art money around. You guys were gonna pay for some stuff at the courthouse that we then used art money for.
Yeah.
Is any of that money left that we can
No.
match or,
No.
you know, like split the difference?
No, art was gone. When this
I know
project
ours is
started.
gone, but like your other fund that was gonna.
No, because they're all pretty much spent too.
Okay, got it.
But when this project started, it was about $60,000.
Oh my gosh.
And then, yeah, we were gonna take it out of art and then delay. And then it goes to $160,000. Delay. And now it's 200 and some $1,000. And we said, put it in your budget, see what the council says.
Do we have, other resources other than DLZ? I mean, like you said, you've kind of done with them or whatever. If they can.
So we own the planning of this project, because we paid for that already. So now we can take that and take it to Strain, or
Well, you could just hire a company to do it.
we could do it all ourselves, so yes.
That's a him question, not a
I'm
me
just thinking,
question.
What?
seeded money can pay for this?
I'm sorry, I still didn't hear.
Speak into your microphone.
See that money.
If you guys,
He heard me, he just.
you guys turn it down,
You gotta turn that hearing mic.
you guys turn it down, or we'll have to find the money for it. It's gotta happen. Otherwise, they won't be able to have campers up there.
Yeah.
But we wanted the council's input on this. It was
I
big
know,
enough.
and honestly, Tony, when we sit and look at all big, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have no clue how we're gonna pay for some of this stuff until we sit down with the big ticket items.
Yeah.
And look what we've gotta cut on this budget. And it may be one of those items we ask you to pay out of there.
And we'll listen to you. But we thought it had grown enough that you guys needed to be
Definitely
involved in.
grown.
Yeah.
And is 290, we're confident in that number?
Is it 290?
290.
It was 240 the last time I talked to you.
I thought the documents you said that they said that was way too high. It could come in lower than that.
Correct.
DLZ.
But that was the high number. I'd rather plan for the high
No,
number.
ask high, ask high.
Yeah.
I don't want any more
Well, we're hoping
surprises.
for a lower number when it actually comes out, okay?
I do appreciate that you looked for other areas to cut to make up for it. I mean, a reduction in some of the other areas.
I don't have anything for us this time.
So staying, Tony?
I'm more than happy
You
to.
turn your hearing aid back on.
Okay.
David, this is very straightforward. I also want to commend you on cutting in the areas you didn't need to. And the other thing is the machinery and equipment, when you get that 5-year plan, like, don't just think about park improvement, think about your equipment too. Like, what's the life? Like, is that skid loader gonna last you 15 years? Does it pay to trade it in at 10 years because you get higher value? What's that plan?
I already turned it in.
Oh, beautiful. Never mind.
And it included equipment?
Perfect.
Every piece of equipment.
Beautiful.
Good job, Rich.
Caroline didn't let me forget.
This was,
It was a good thing.
I appreciate the work here.
Putting a fire out here. Paying attention.
I said, thank you for keeping on me about the equipment and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, because you are way under if you take Heflin out of the equation. Yeah.
Next year, community crossings goes.
All right,
Thank
you are
you.
good to go.
Thank you.
Leah said
got it.
next year, community crossings goes like
Done,
normal.
David.
Oh, the dollar amount.
Oh, wait, David, don't leave.
Well, it's over to millions.
make sure.
Thank you.
explain this to her.
David, I need to give you something for your wife.
She's handing out money, David, we'll take a
Gotta
cut.
get into.
He got it.
Today, they're gonna get, they're gonna get in the rainy day, that 2
Oh,
million.
wow.
You know what that's for, right?
Community crossing, it's coming out of rainy.
I made up some time.
Yeah.
Since I took him a bag, he made it.
Ensure that they
Yes.
2 years.
Anyone else owe Phyllis Apple?
Man, you Mark, I'm buying.
I'm gonna let her know I gave you that.
Hey, I'll give that to mom.
Wait,
Well,
when
we
you
knew
said
we
for
couldn't
your
do it
wife, he was
forever.
looking to split on that one. and he
Yeah, he
knows
knows it, yeah.
Thank you.
There's.
Thank you.
Danny, you need me to stay for anything?
All right, Danny.
I'll just stay for Danny too. I'll just,
Might as well, because we'll
Hang
probably have
with
questions
us.
for you.
why not?
You got some school money for you?
He knows about the community crossings for
Oh,
next year.
you sent it to him too?
No, he knows more about it than I do.
Okay, good. All right. What are we starting, which fund are we starting in?
It's like bridge is what it's done on
Bridge?
here, I don't know.
What number is that?
1135.
I just say before you start, if you start on bridges, the cost of the design on bridges now costs more than it used to cost to fix them.
Oh, I think you mentioned that.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
So just think about that with our Cume Bridge Fund.
Do we have a bridge that's still out in the county? Do we have a bridge that's out in the county?
Now, you mean closed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two 73, you signed a contract this morning to start some alternative investigations and, problem is it's a historic structure and there's limited options because you can't affect its historic features.
Right.
So.
It's an erector set. It's
yeah,
just,
old-
it's just
old
a,
iron truss.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
it's gonna cost us $6 or $7 million to fix it.
Stop.
And we can't, what is it, what is the, same thing I do with my body, what's it called? Destruction by neglect?
Demolition.
Yeah, demolition by, can't do that either. We can't just leave it closed and let it die.
You can't?
No, because it's historical, we have to fix it. And it's gonna cost a bunch of money,
Where's this bridge located?
900 north over the Flat Rock.
150 cars a day.
900
I'm pretty sure that's where my daughter got her senior pictures taken. Is it Iron's Bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
150
Maybe
cars.
we need to charge for a.
Yeah.
photo op.
Toll, get a photo toll.
That's a good
Yeah, there you go, photo tow.
Huh?
I'm shocked it's 150 cars. I figured it'd be less than that with 800.
We used to be able to,
Yeah, it's
Fly
way up
down
north.
that road.
we couldn't, there's not enough in Cume Bridge to replace one bridge, I don't think.
How much is in cumulative bridge, out of curiosity?
What's that?
How much do we have in cumulative bridge?
Well, we got a big balance right now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
big's
'cause-
relative to cost, right?
What's that?
Big's only relative to cost.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to save some money because in 27, we've got like $6 million worth of bridge projects that are coming. If they stay on schedule, we've got the Tally Road Bridge that's on the city's road project, and then we got Lowell Bridge. So between the two of them, it's our share. It's also federal funding involved, but our share could be $6 million. So I'm trying to build up my balance so that I have that when it comes, because
We're
King
decking,
Bridge is only getting, roughly 2 million a year or so.
we're currently in the process of redecking the Azalea Bridge, just to redecking it. How much is that, Danny? $1 million?
Yeah, it was at 900 something, I think.
Just to read.
Just to redeck it.
It's an inch and a half concrete surface at the top.
When's it gonna be open?
They had 90 days, but they think they can do it probably about 60, so it'll probably be toward the end of September.
Bridges we're talking about.
All right, so.
So we switched budgets on me now? Are we done with bridge or?
I'm sorry. my fire's put out.
I'm just gonna blame Greg for that fire since he was close.
So which fund are we on?
Extinguished, Greg, if you're.
That's my MBH budget there with,
You wanna go back to 11:35?
no, I can do whatever.
But we have no money on our 1135, is that correct?
No, we have money in
No,
our
there's-
1135.
There's lines further down.
Yeah,
It says
Yeah.
cumulative bridge.
and then go into the fire, like,
Just
Oh, that's
scroll-
highway.
Scroll down.
Then it says highway administration, is that separate? Or is that does that fall under the cumulative bridge? Am I following it
yeah,
correctly?
because you see Bridge 50, it's all under the cumulative
It's-
bridge
it's
fund.
Bridge 113, I gotcha.
And you've got repairs and maintenance.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
Just tell me where to go.
Yeah, we increased the contractual, are we on Q Bridge or are we on MBH?
All the above.
Q
Okay.
Bridge. Let's do Q Bridge because that's where I'm at selfishly.
Nothing on.
No, scroll down, scroll down.
This says 0, but if you come back here.
And George is like, and this is why I print.
Yeah, I did, but
The right
it's
place.
still under
I know,
this.
dude, yeah, go right here.
It's not under Q.
Nope, it's
No,
not.
it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Highway admin.
It threw me off.
Yeah, Q Bridge, my salary comes out of Q Bridge. And, we used to have our grade all operator come out of there too. Because he's primarily doing culverts, which are considered bridges as far as the Q Bridge is concerned. But we took that out when actually, he left, and so we haven't had a consistent person at that position, so technically, he's not all working on bridges all the time, so we've kind of just have me in there as the only salary in the Q Bridge. We lowered bridge supplies, then we raised contractual services. Primarily because this year we have a 4-year bridge inspection contract. The past 4 years, we've only had a 2-year contract, so the first year we're gonna have a big expense because we put all the contract in there, and then so it should go back down for the remaining 3 years of the contract. Then I got Bridge 103 in here. Why does it thought it said Bridge 113? I don't know what Bridge 113 is. Oh, 113 is Azalea that's under construction right now. 103 is where we put the money, and that's for tally, and it probably won't get spent until next year, 2027, not next year, the next budget year.
That one that's up for some Campo money possibly.
Yeah, there's Campo has money in there, but it's not, they don't have enough to make it 80-20.
Right.
So then we may have to come up with the additional to cover the rest. But that's all I have in Q Bridge, just,
So you're saying it probably won't get made in 2026, but it's gonna be in the budget, so.
yeah, it'll revert and we can reappropriate it in 27 and when it's, and then if something happens that we need the money, we could transfer it if something comes up that we need money, but right now I'm not planning on spending anything on any major bridges, anything or anything. I just hope we don't have to close another one or something, and then I'd have money available for that, but, it's Q Bridges right now. The restricted account. Is that what we're doing now?
Restricted,
That's an easy one.
okay. There's the admin.
Oh, you make it hard.
Oh, we're doing admin?
We'll work our way down.
This is almost exactly the same as last year, other than the 2% raises for the employees and the increase in the health insurance cost. We had 111 last year in Lowell Road, 325 West intersection projects, and then we upped it to 115 for this year. That's essentially we pay for the federal portion out of the highway fund. And then it gets reimbursed and then it goes back in. So there should be, anything we spend on infrastructure, on the federal project, will go back into the fund and we can use it the following year. Or we would come back during the year, reappropriate it if we need it. The only other thing that had a significant increase was our general services and our other services and charges. We budgeted 25,000 last year, and we've got 35,000 this year. But the 25 I had last year, I came to you earlier this year and got a $10,000 additional. So this is just basically matching what we had last year after my additional appropriation.
Okay. Have you gone over the MVH restricted? Sorry, I'm like trying to keep up with all these different budgets. I just am trying to, in my own head, I probably ask you this every year, and I'm sorry, Danny.
That's fine.
What's the difference between the MVH restricted and in repairs? Wait.
Well,
In the infrastructure versus like what you have in this budget with infrastructure, like,
I don't know how long it's been. 5 years ago, the state legislature came out with a law that said we had to spend half our MVH on road preservation projects.
okay,
And that is the restricted fund.
got it. Okay, so
And
that's.
then the other 50% is just the general. So on the restricted fund, it's all infrastructure. So it's all going to be either paving or chip seal or a project.
Okay, so let's talk about community crossings for a hot minute. The commissioners asked us for 2 million because of community crossings going away. What does that fund?
I was coming up with $1 million out of my restricted
Perfect,
for the match.
perfect,
And they were coming up with $500,000,
perfect.
get 1.5, and then we got 1.5 from the community crossings grant.
Right,
So, cause it's a 50-50 match, so I was only coming up with $1 million.
got it.
And then the other $1.5 million was either grant and $500,000 from the seeded fund.
Okay, got it. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to study all this and understand exactly what's going to what when I do.
I don't understand it either, and I deal everything.
Now you got me more confused. They budgeted 2.
And not in the seated, they're asking us for 2 million on top of what's in here for.
Right.
Are they asking us for the full amount and not cover their?
Because they don't think we're gonna get it, but we're gonna get it next year. It's the following year.
No, well, they've lowered the max from $1.5 million to $1 million.
Right, for next year.
But the pool of the awarding is a lot smaller. So they're still having the grants. But before we were getting it from a pool, a pot of money of 350 million. Now the pod's only a half of, or 100 million.
Yep.
And half of that 100 has to go to counties and towns that are less
Then
than 50,000. So we're competing with a pot of money of
50 million.
50 million as opposed to 350 million. So,
what's your odds?
well, they're gonna go down. I mean, we got it every year. I mean, pretty much unless you really screwed up your application, everybody got it every year, but that's not gonna be the case anymore.
So they're padding in case they don't get it. I mean, not padding,
And they're not gonna get it.
they're not.
Because normally we got 1.5.
The last 2 years, it's been 1.5, and then the years before that, we only got $1 million, but then they were getting more money, so they raised the maximum award amount.
You're answering all our questions. This is perfect. Thank you.
So the 2 million is just in case we don't get the other 1.5,
Yeah.
then we've got enough set aside to take.
Well, I'm not gonna get 1.5, because one's the most that the state will get.
Okay.
We're only gonna get one. So really, to make up the,
Yeah.
yeah,
But we're coming up with 2 of it from a commissioner standpoint and 1 million of it from a highway standpoint. So it's all coming out of county council. Am I looking at that incorrectly?
well,
Yeah.
he's coming up with the match.
Yes, I
The
get that.
commissioners are asking us for 2 million on top of all of that.
Right.
Because they don't think we're gonna get it, but he's telling us the max we'll get, if we get it, the max we'll get is 1 million. So we're in the whole 500.
So if we put a slush of 1 instead of 2,
We're meeting them in the middle.
we may be better.
Yeah. Sorry, we're navigating our own budget in front of you.
That's
But
quite
we
all
need-
right.
But we
It's,
need you here
You
to
get to use the money though, Danny.
Yeah.
we need you here to navigate this. That's why I'm like, I'm asking you these questions, so we
Okay,
can all
let
fight
me
through
ask
this. Go ahead.
a futuristic question. If in fact of trying to navigate through 2026 and we choose not to do a wheel tax, then will we have to budget 1.5 or 2 million in 27?
No, if we want to keep 1.5 even for him,
Right.
we have to already increase it 500,000. If we
By
do not,
next year.
by next year.
Okay,
If we do not do a wheel tax, we will no longer be eligible for that 1 million. So then we'll need.
no,
we can't be,
no,
but it's, they
we'll
say.
still be eligible for that. There's two things now.
Okay, explain this. Yeah,
Okay, the community crossings, where it's going down from 350 to,
yes, to the
100
100 million.
million between everybody.
That's the grant.
Right. The other 250 million is gonna be distributed to everybody based on how many miles of road they have,
No matter what.
no matter what. But that's what you have to have the wheel tax in order to get that.
Starting in
That's the diamond
27.
they're dangling in front of.
Right.
And that's starting in 27.
Yeah, but,
Theoretically, if we don't, yes.
yeah, but how much
So
are
what
we
if the
really
city does
gaining
the wheel
by
tax
a
and
little
we don't
tax?
get
I mean,
the
like.
Well, my understanding is they have to do it anyway.
city does.
If they wanna get their share, they have to have their own wheel tax, and then we have to have our own.
So are they competing for those same funds?
Yeah, in the community crossings grant, yeah, so is Clifford and Hartsville and Hope, and everybody's can apply for community crossings. Everybody's competing in that same
But
pond.
the city they're gonna implement a wheel tax, so they would be able to compete, whereas the other smaller municipalities couldn't, correct?
The state has always tried to be, I don't wanna say fair, I guess. I mean, the state NDOT, I'm talking about, not state legislature.
Yeah, appreciate the clarification.
Duly noted.
They have, if you were eligible for different things, they tried to give money to people that weren't eligible, like, towns, Clifford, Hartsville. That distribution I talked about, you have to have a population of over 5,000 in order to get that. So all those small towns are not gonna be eligible for that part of the money. So they probably will have a better priority in the grant portion. And then my understanding was there's gonna be a limit too, so if the distribution was gonna pay over a certain amount, you know, if you were like Hamilton County or whatever, when some county was getting a huge amount of the second pot of money, you wouldn't be eligible for the community crossing. But it's all really unknown at this point. It's because we haven't even started getting into it. But it's,
We'll have to look at that crystal ball.
now I did hear,
That's exactly right.
you know, Indianapolis is getting 50 million
Mhm.
out of that used to be in the pot for,
Everybody.
but I heard
Confusing myself.
they're only gonna match, they have to match it, and they were only gonna match 10 million. So that'd be another 40 million that's going into the second pot that's gonna be distributed, so, at least this first year anyway.
Okay.
And we can do that because we don't have to have a wheel tax yet, correct?
We can apply for the grant, we can always apply for the grant. That's gonna have, but then the distribution portion, we won't be eligible for. I don't know when that's gonna start.
I think 27.
Yeah, the first year is really big because it's like a year and a half of
Yes.
collections.
Which is, they're doing that on purpose, so it'll force folks like us, the 55 counties that do not have a wheel tax,
Right.
to do it.
Yeah, they're switching from a calendar year to a fiscal year, which
Yeah.
starts in July.
1st, yeah.
So they got an extra half a year's worth of gas tax collection. So that first year is gonna be a big payout, I guess.
Sorry, my brain hurts.
You look confused.
No, I'm reading state code. It's okay.
You do that in your spare time, don't you? You're weird.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, back to your budget. It just, as you were walking through this, I was like, let's talk about this real quick.
So are we still on the general highway fund?
I don't know where we're at.
That's the one I said was basically everything was the same other than the infrastructure, which we raised $4,000. The general services, which we raised 10,000, but I came back earlier this year and got an additional for 10,000.
Yep.
Right.
Everything else is exactly the same as last year.
So what are we going to now?
See
And we're
road
in
signs
streets?
in there. Have you figured out a way to keep people from destroying the flashing stop signs yet?
No, and I wish I could get somebody to fix it. I can't even get. One of them was never working properly, the one at 500 East and 25th Street. Because it was only supposed to flash if a car pulled up at the intersection, but it flashes all the time. So it got taken out by a wreck, so I was gonna use the insurance company, pay for a contractor to come in and fix it. And I can't get anybody to do it. I mean, I don't.
So do we have an all-in number for all the various categories you have here?
What's that?
Do we have an all-in number for all the different budgets you have here and what the change is?
And all of them put together?
Yeah.
No, I've never done that because they're actually
All separate.
different budgets than themselves, but, Q Bridges, I think we only budgeted for 1.8 million. The two MVHs are gonna total about 4.6 million. And then local road and streets, almost $1 million.
Now, Danny, in SB1, did they eliminate the two different versions on your on your MBH?
No,
It didn't, okay.
they made it 60/40 depending on what our roads rate. If our roads rate greater than a 6, then it becomes 60/40 instead of 50/50. So, we've always been above 6 ever since we've been keeping track of this, so. Then we'll be able to put 60% into the regular MBH and only have to put 40% into the restricted.
Okay.
That doesn't take effect until July of 26.
And I haven't seen anything yet that gives an estimate of the revenue for that fund. Have you seen that?
We haven't got that. It used to be, can't remember which is where, you used to get it from the revenue people. I mean, it used to come from the state auditor, and then they gave it over to the local government finance. And we haven't seen anything in several years. Because they used to say, take this percent of this many months, and then this percent of the next year's 6 months. And yeah, we've just been basing it on what last year's revenue was. This year, MVH revenues are running 1% more than they did last year. And last year was like 2% from the year before, so it's not really rising any. So we've just been using the same estimated revenue. Now, local road street, which comes from the same gas pumps, was up like 5%, so I don't know why we're getting 5% more on local road street and only 1% more on MVH, but that's the way it's coming out.
Michael, it looks like $69,000 increase. Are you trying to figure it?
Yeah, so 69,000 across all of that of
Not including the other thing you looked at earlier.
$7 million worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's only
pretty minimal.
Good
That
job,
is
Ian.
very flat.
Pretty
Well,
minimal. Awesome.
I only base a budget on what we think we're gonna get, because all our money is dedicated funds and it can't be used for anything else, so it's,
Like a 1%.
I'm not competing for the money with all the other departments like some of them are, so it's just,
Leah, quit reading state code.
I don't know, she's gonna,
My brain's gonna explode.
yeah.
Well, stop.
I'm just trying to understand all of this while he's in front of us. I'll call you for. more
Everybody got the
questions.
wheel tax information he sent a while ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that was helpful.
incredibly helpful.
Do you have any other
And we may be getting assistance on.
information or any changes that's happened since you sent that out?
no.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, cause like, not that I'm against a wheel tax per se, like, it's a fair way to fund roads, but it may not be the best way to fund roads, and that's what I think we have to decide. We're gonna have to fund more, period. The state's gonna give us.
Being told how to do it.
Is what really irks me at this point. But I want Danny to be able to keep our roads up because that helps with economic development, public safety, all of the things.
That's very
cannot pave
political,
roads.
because then you need to remind, if you were to pass it, you need to remind why we passed it. It wasn't because we wanted to.
Exactly.
It's because of our legislators, whom we know, who didn't do a very good job voting.
They just put it.
Well,
Instead of theirs.
Ours voted against it,
Yes,
but
but more
when
counties have it.
50-some counties already have the wheel tax, they're not gonna oppose that.
Yeah,
No, because they're already doing it.
right.
Yeah, because they've already got it, right?
This seems very straightforward to me. I don't have any more questions. We might have more questions about the community crossing versus standard road funding and how that all looks, I've got a feeling I'm gonna have more questions, but maybe others will figure it out.
I'm happy to answer anything I can.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Danny.
No problem.
Good luck with the bridges. Godspeed.
We'll cross that when it comes to it.
Please.
That's a bad day.
Well played.
Fun of the day.
Dad joke.
Well played.
Timing was perfect. Timing was perfect.
Okay, so the final thing on our agenda before tomorrow is deliberations of anything we've heard today. And then any prep work that the auditor's office may advise us to have for tomorrow. So based on what we've heard today,
We can knock off, what, 1.3 million?
From which place?
From Steven?
1,010,000 from commissioners. and
Round it up.
yeah. Rounded.
I was doing that to get a nice 1.3.
And then where are you pulling the other from?
290 from parks.
They have to do that.
No, CETA can do it.
See,
Oh,
He meant no.
CETA can do
as
it.
long as, as long as the
That's
money.
1.3, that's significant.
And Larry called me out to say that this 848,000
Is it
is,
typo?
is double counted.
Okay,
So how
thank
do we,
you.
So that comes off.
Okay,
That comes
so
off.
that means they have more money not accounted for in CETA.
But I will say, they did say that they just switched around money that they were gonna put in for the
Yeah.
HVAC. And from our, cause with the HVAC, they had money they were putting into it.
Right,
And then they just traded that off with,
to put the art money in.
put the
too.
art money that we were gonna use for Heflin. And then, but then they came back to Rich and said, well, put it through budget.
Well, which,
So-
one of you, smart,
Is that fair for me to say? I'm sorry.
no, it's very,
I'm
that's
not-
why you sit on the advisory board. One of you caught that they don't, DLZ said it should not cost 290, he's asking for.
I read
I was like, one of you gentlemen caught this.
I read a letter that said that that was high and.
Yeah, most extreme case,
But you do have, I mean, you're right, be
ask for
prepared
the
work.
high,
All right,
yeah.
we got, we reduced 290, and where'd you say that a million you were talking about?
From their highway, they asked for 2 million,
The 2 million, reduce it by a million,
yeah.
and then what about our million, and what, you wanna talk about our consult, or that million we set aside for the,
Yeah,
Yeah, just,
I mean,
Well,
we're,
he
pro-
is
we're
concerned,
probably
it's
gonna
just
need.
not
What about the
too crazy.
685? Can we add that back into the 1 million
Oh,
and the
the
685 or the 880?
700.
They've taken it out of their CEDAC because it was in our general for last year.
it was in our general?
It was in our general last year because we sold the building. And we
Yeah.
said, we'll use those.
Funds to pay for the new,
Where's the 880? It's still in our general?
yeah, like it was in there,
Well, they were doing, this is their seated, right?
they thought they were paying for it out of CEDAC.
Seated. So this
We can-
3,993.
We need to leave it there?
No,
It comes
They-
off of here.
so it stays in ours,
It stays in ours.
we're paying the bill,
they can pay the 290 for.
yeah, so
For
they
the-
just,
for
we
the
just
park.
need,
I'm sorry, brain fade.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
290 can come from the
So the-
848.
Yeah.
Right. So we can ask for that to be shifted over.
I think we also take down our million in the county council budget, we're still gonna need some financial,
Down to what?
I think down
They got
to,
100,000 in for that they could put in for consulting for the center.
yeah, but we're gonna need financial stuff like what Reedy's
We
doing
need to
is,
keep 100.
What's our
in there for
cash
ourselves.
reserve on it?
what?
How much have we spent this
50.
year of
Oh.
a million?
20?
Yeah, 20,000,
So Mark's saying we've got plenty of money there, right?
yeah,
And how much did we keep last year?
last year was the first
What
year
did we
we,
budget?
Yeah, you said something about
1,050,000.
keeping some money. What number were you thinking?
I'm thinking 100,000.
Was that the placeholder?
100?
Oh, wow.
I
okay.
think take our 1,050,000 to 100,000.
50 actually.
I'm fine with that too.
I am too.
And then we have enough to hire any help as we navigate lit, wheel tax, because Reedy's gonna give us a first.
Instead of
read.
taking it down to 100,000.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay, so
How
we
much
just
we-
found
how much
2.3.
we wipe out there already? That's
Two
what,
point three.
2.3 right now?
Yeah, if we do his suggestion,
Okay. Is everybody comfortable with what we talked about so far?
yeah, cutting, yeah.
Okay.
So Scott, I think somebody already asked you, of all of your back page wish list, was any of that accounted for in individual departments? Or
No, all of that I presented
was unique to you? So whatever the sheriff is asking for, whatever E911's asking for, that's all, it's all
Separate.
separate stuff.
other, anything that's a shared technology service, like laptops, licensing, any of those department request projects. Now, they may come with other requests that they maybe didn't talk to me for some reason. But that's one reason why I've been paying close attention the last few years, just to help collaborate that. But everything that's in there now is, as I'm aware, is not double requested any place.
And we do that.
Thank you.
The only comment that I have,
What now?
that I have, what we have talked about, it is, it's over 15, not hours.
That
Yeah,
we can,
We
we
have
have
to
to pay for
ask
something.
them,
We have to ask them
Totally.
to fund the two ninety.
and they have to agree to.
Yes,
We cannot,
Dictate.
right, we cannot just
still-
say.
We can still cut the budget though,
we approved,
but they'll be forced into it.
well,
They could say
Well,
no too.
They could say
Well,
no.
then they just won't pay for the half of
that's,
it.
that's the thing, Marcus, the thing about it, yes, we can do that, what you said, and they can also do a lot of other different things around the bridge cume and all that kind of stuff, so we don't wanna get into that fight with the commissioners.
Do we also,
We have to work
George,
together.
you've always been against adding employees, and they have suggested that we add a full-time employee.
The only employee that have been asked is to convert the animal control from a part-time to a full-time. That's the only.
And I'm supportive
I
of that.
support that too.
Yes, and
I
am
support.
too.
I, just from the hiring standpoint, trying to get part-time people, the part-time people that I find, they want to choose their hours. I mean,
No,
yeah, and then you lose them all day long.
right now, that's the only thing that has been requested. However, I think that we need to be open-minded and we need to explore more about what's going on with the IT from a salary point of view and from a people point of view. Now, how does that fit in the total scheme of things is yet to be seen, but I think that we should not lose that sight out of that.
And maybe we plant the seed.
We also know
It's kind of fresh in our mind too. We probably need to discuss.
Prosecutors built in.
I'm lost, and you guys are gonna have to help me on the shift differential that Brad brought up, and then we took care of for this year, and the hours. I don't know, are we consistent across county, or we're paying everybody differently? I mean, I don't know what, Pia's gotta come through your office. Are we paying?
The $1, $2.
I believe that we're now consistent.
The ship.
That we're not
With the change that you made today, I believe that we're now consistent.
consistent.
We are now consistent.
Not?
We are now with the decision today.
Jail and E911 pays $2.50 an hour.
Say again, Daleen?
Jail and E911 pays $2.50 an hour.
And then Brad's is 2.
Yes.
But they have a higher salary too.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's where you have to really look at it.
You know, he wanted to, I'm comfortable, yes,
It's equitable.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, and,
I'm fine to leave that with.
yeah. I mean, E911 and the jail have higher salaries than those other places too.
The parks and.
So percentage wise, it's probably about the same.
The stuff.
Are we gonna need anything
They're utilizing some of their
in the
income.
consulting for the youth services next year beyond
What that
that?
other's for, and if we need
I mean,
anything.
we're saying keep 100 in there, but is that?
I think the commissioners will need it for their stuff, in case we need some, but
Yeah.
I doubt, I don't know of
But,
any.
I mean, that's all gonna depend on what you decide to do with youth services.
Yeah.
And we have no say.
And they did have a consulting, they did build some of that into their consulting fees as well.
$100,000.
That's the same amount.
The same amount, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's which direct, I don't think we'll need to add any more into that. It just depends on which direction we go.
And if we do a a bond, does the bond issue cost gets wrapped up all in?
Yeah, I'm trying to get all of those. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon I'll have like some of
Numbers.
that. I won't have a exact number on bond counsel that we'll have to hire. I'll have an estimate of what it would cost the bank, and then ours would probably be 2 or 3x that, because I'll have to do more work for us, but I'm getting all of those costs. And as soon as I get them, I'll send them to you guys.
But my question, would that go into consulting or does that go into a debt?
Debt
Fine.
services.
Typically, that's rolled in with your debt service.
Okay.
I was like,
One,
So we would need to build that into our budget.
Yeah.
one comment that I have also is we do have $1 million in the riverboat fund.
Yeah.
That we have not expended any cash from that for a few years, I don't believe.
Could we just pay Heflin Park out of that?
Well,
And
do a
that's where I was going.
well, I was like, do we pay for a Heflin, or again, we have rainy day, like,
That's a one-time expense.
Yeah.
Also, historically speaking, before we build up not the rainy day, the riverboat money, it used to be to fund the sheriff's cars over, and he's got 365 or 385 for this year in that. And that's the simplest thing, to move that, pay for the sheriff's cars out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, that's the way it was done, at least.
No, that's the way, we have not used the riverboat fund in about 3 years, if not more.
my only
So
concern
That's
is I
how we used it.
my only concern with using it on the cars for 1 year is he's built that into every year we have cars as a
That's on
fixed.
his budget, but
Yeah.
we've got to find a
Minimum,
way to.
but he still has real costs.
Yeah, and it's us figuring his long-term budget.
No, totally. I'm just thinking like, what's a true one-time expense, and cars are not a true one-time expense, where Heflin Park is a true one-time expense.
It won't repeat next year. Now, he'll have other.
I was gonna
like,
say, there'll be
maintenance
other
costs.
things that just have a different name in front of it.
Yeah.
Leah, did you have a suggestion on
I-
something else?
I think
to pay
cars,
out
he
of
does
it?
like 300 some every year.
No. My suggestion was to,
We got to set
the
it.
one time,
Yeah.
I'm on the same page as Leah. In the riverboat, you just want one-time things. Cars are not a one-time thing. We buy cars for the sheriff's department every year.
Yeah, that's why I was like, ugh, it's roughly the same amount of money, but I'm like, I know.
What park is comes for?
Now, when we get tomorrow to the sheriff's budget and the jail budget, one thing that we will want to consider is in the jail budget, we're paying for the bulk of those expenses with the correctional facility lit.
Which is.
Then we have extra that we need to put into a jail general fund.
Yeah.
One thing that can be easily paid for out of that is the inmate medical.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's what we've actually been doing this year,
Really?
is we've been paying the inmate medical because we had budgeted so much dollars in general fund that we had to pay something for, because we don't have enough money in the correctional facility lit, and it was going into the red, so we're paying inmate medical
Out of,
out of general fund.
got it.
Cause that's cleaner for state board of accounts to pay for something out of our general fund rather than move money
No, I'm for it.
from the
I'm for
general
it.
fund to the correctional facility.
No, I'm for it. Just thinking through all of this.
I know that,
Did he put medical in general fund next year, or did he leave it in lit?
He left it, when they budgeted, they left everything in the lit. But it's gonna run short, and I'll have more information, be able to show you that tomorrow.
With
So
Senate,
that's something that you can just think of,
with Senate Bill 1, all special lits like that one are going away, correct?
all of them,
Yes.
yes.
So we're just gonna
So
get-
like the seeded fund.
Everything's gonna be restricted.
The seeded fund, what I didn't understand this was the first time I've looked at this, yellow and white document. One thing I didn't understand by looking at that information is of the
2.6.
whatever we have that's in that fund now. I think they have about $8 million in that fund,
What you said.
the seeded fund.
Yeah.
Of that amount that's in there currently, how much is spoken for?
Yeah,
They didn't really answer that. They
They
said
said
it's accounted for,
4,
and then they said half, and then.
yeah.
But I
it was
wanna,
not a good
but I wanna
answer.
see like
It's 'cause he
real
doesn't wanna
numbers that
tell
are
us.
tied to contracts that have
That
been
was the
approved.
answer.
How do we get that?
Yeah.
Do we request it?
You have to request it from them.
Yeah, and then, what
I mean,
happened?
I thought that that's what they would bring.
I will send an email right now requesting it.
When the seated, I'm trying to,
But Tony clearly said it's gotta happen, so his word was, it's gonna come from that fund if we don't approve it. He said, take it to council first, if they say no, then we're gonna pay for it.
slush fund.
I kind of feel like.
But if we can use the riverboat,
I'd say let's save it until we get out there where we're really crunching the numbers. You need to start with these big numbers, like Mark said earlier, and start cutting big time now, and then we can go back and revisit the money. I'm happy Pia brought it up,
And I know,
so we know it's
I
there.
know Leah's been trying to cut some, reduce some of our workforce and working on that. Hopefully that can materialize in it. On some previous discussions and meetings.
Well, we haven't heard from the treasurer to understand where they think that reduction in interest income is gonna be. So,
You know how high it was a year ago and what it's now, so
Yeah.
it's just lost.
I mean, I
revenue.
know we're anticipating, I mean, they've been talking about rate cuts for several quarters, but nothing's happened. So, I mean, that's a crystal ball type thing anyway, but.
Okay, this is Barb.
Oh, hi. She's just
Hi, everyone.
magically there.
Yes, I'm here. I heard my name and I heard about interest. And
Yeah.
I think I had told, and I looked back at my emails because I saw that up there just for a brief moment earlier that you had like, did I read right that it was 1.2?
Below last year.
Below last year.
That really?
Yes.
That, okay, that below, 1.2 compared to what I brought in last year?
Yeah,
Yes.
less than last year.
Okay, no. I think I estimated, that we would probably get maybe 2.8, this year. And I think, or for next year. So I think we'll probably be, I mean, it's not 1.2, maybe,
Well, no, it was less. It was gonna be 1.2 less.
What are we gonna get in
Trying to pull
twenty
that up.
twenty-five?
in 2025, I think we will probably get around, 3.1 or 3.2 or something, I'll say 3 million.
Well, that's 200,000 less.
Because last year Barb, this Pia, last year we
Yes.
had in the budget 4 million.
Oh, you put it in 4 million, but I didn't bring in 4 million.
Oh, so
So for 2025, the budget was $4 million of investment income.
Okay,
The
yeah, and
actual
we
is
we didn't bring in 4 million. It was wasn't it 3.4, something like that?
Well, we're in the middle of it, Barb. The
Yeah.
budget for 25 is $4 million. And what are you estimating? So do you have an estimate for the rest of this year? The cumulative investment income for 2025?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be close to what it was last year, which I know that's what you put in the budget, but what the actual was different than what you put in for the budget. So, if she put in 4 and I think I brought in 3.4, I'm looking in my files.
That's a big difference.
Let me just look.
You need Scott?
So what is she projecting?
she's projecting,
For 2026, how much?
2.8, is that the number she gave you? So everything's still flat.
So it is a $1.2 million reduction
a budget, but not actual.
from 25.
Oh, okay.
She's still $1 million short than we thought we were getting in. So we're $1 million short in 2025, but based on those numbers, it's more of an accurate number, what you just showed us. Is that what I'm reading?
Okay, sorry. I did bring in a lot more than what I remembered last year. It was 3.9 last year in interest. So I would estimate this year, that is probably going to be, I mean, it's gonna be less, but probably not that much less, so probably about 3.8. So I was probably low in the number that I gave Pia. I was being very conservative. I mean, the tax rates have, or tax rates, here I'm tax rates instead of, interest rates, has gone down, but not, I mean, maybe a percentage. So I'm estimating that this year, 2025, I'll probably bring in probably about 3.5, I'll say. And so next year, I think I really probably lowballed it to 2.8, thinking that, yeah. So I don't know, it'll probably still be probably about 3. Which is still lower than the 4 that you put in.
Why
for
is it,
this year.
why is it going down again? Because the interest.
Interest rates have gone down.
And they're projecting them to go down.
Yes,
I mean, they've held the past 2 Fed meetings,
Yes.
but
They've-
right.
they keep
Over
talking.
the years, it's been like 1/4%.
Yeah.
It's not been 1%, so.
Yeah,
No, but a
they're
Fed
not-
rate does not correlate directly.
I get it.
Yeah.
yeah, they're down a whole percent of what they were probably last year at this time. Because last year, like in, April, May, I was getting over 5%. Now I'm getting over just a little over 4, close to 4% on average.
So we could change that 1.2 number to what?
You can change that number to, yeah.
About 400,000 less, you think?
What'd you say, Kim?
We're showing 1.2 million
Less?
in interest income. You think it's gonna be closer to 400,000 less than budget?
And 25.
In
500,000?
in 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably closer.
Saying 3.5, well, that's a difference of 7.
Yeah.
So that could be a minus
5.
500,000.
Yeah.
Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I'd say minus,
2.8 to 3.5.
yes.
Please?
700,000.
Got it covered, Barb, now.
Barb,
Okay,
that was great.
Was
Thank
that,
you
was
for
that
staying
a little
on.
helpful?
It's a lot helpful.
Yeah, because when I saw that 1.2, it's just, I thought that's how much she thought we were gonna get, so, but I understand now.
And I was only referring to, we said when Barb talked, when you come, we were gonna just ask a little bit more about it, and that's what I was referring to, so I'm glad you were on.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm on the agenda to come,
Okay.
so, yeah. But, and I can look further into it, because I'm just kind of, looking, I can get some more firmer numbers.
Yeah, no. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I was just trying to be a little, you hate to overestimate something like that.
Oh.
We appreciate
On
that.
expenses, you wanna come high, and on income, you wanna come low, and you wanna overshoot,
Right.
so.
Right, so I was, yeah. Okay, all right, continue, thank you.
Thanks, Barb.
I can just be back tomorrow.
Thanks for the warning.
That's,
You great.
Thanks,
Anything
Scott.
else,
Thanks.
or bigger thing?
I'm sending an email to Tina and Commissioner asking for allocation.
On the seeded money, what everything you're
Uh-huh.
going for?
Yeah.
Did we finalize the seeded coming out of that?
Requesting they fund that out of their seat.
No, I thought we switched it for one time.
Well, I
Well, we
said,
haven't, we're just,
my
we're putting it in.
recommendation is.
Okay.
I would
Wait,
request
see.
seed it first, and if they say no, well, then we can go
Correct.
back to Riverboat.
Correct.
Okay.
Someone needs to
We may
clean out
still have to
Larry's
do that by the time
inbox.
we get to the
But,
end. so.
but let's not tell Larry that, since he won't tell us his side of things.
Oh, I know.
Larry's inbox is
Oh,
always.
yeah, Larry's always full. I knew it, but I didn't want
Do anything else
to.
today?
I don't think we need anything else unless there's someone here that,
Are we still thinking we're gonna be finished Wednesday?
Yeah, that's right.
that's my goal.
Because I potentially have another business meeting on Thursday.
So do I.
Yeah.
So I'm very encouraged
Push.
to get done.
We can always work later on Wednesday.
Yeah, we can work till we're done on Wednesday.
Okay.
So you think we will not be on Friday?
Thursday.
Thursday or Friday.
Okay, well, cause.
I will have to leave early on Wednesday, so that's why I'm trying to.
But if we do, if we do these conversations
Up front here
tomorrow
quickly.
again,
good.
it won't take that long. I mean, we'll talk about youth services and how we want to,
Fund it, go
Yeah.
forward with it.
We just solved about $3 million of the issue.
no, exactly.
This, I opened my eyes, just like this little
Yeah.
conversation.
How
I
we
mean, was
make
like-
this work.
Well, and no, just like, oh, okay, money here, like, how quickly we can dwindle that gap?
Right.
The
'Cause
only,
it seemed very large when we started the day.
Yes.
the only difference that we have this year versus last year is that once we came up with all the deliberations, the auditor's office had a chart for us.
Right. And
okay?
they moved the numbers as
That-
we,
That gave everything on, the additional people,
Right.
and then it gave us a total on the bottom to find out, because I am a bit confused from the point of view of how much money we're getting
right,
versus how much money we're gonna be spending.
right.
Well, it's because Center got.
I think we have a better idea of what we're spending.
We have a better idea of what we're spending, but we don't know how much we're getting.
I agree.
And I was trying to turn it down, but instead I turned it
Mia,
on.
can we leave all the stuff here?
I don't care what you do.
Oh, like.
You knew
a
that was gonna be the
computer.
answer.
I'm leaving it.
So yeah, you can leave your stuff here. I'm leaving my stuff here.
Okay, that's what I'm
They
asking.
did. These doors will
Do
be
they
locked.
lock it?
Yeah,
Until tomorrow, at 1
yes,
p.m.
suspended until 1 PM tomorrow.
Actually, I'm gonna take my stuff over to my office.
George seconded that, and so all in favor?
I can do
We
this.
postpone, it's postponed. I move to postpone the meeting.
They,
on-
but it happened to be Ronnie Arnold, so
Okay.
that was good. And he hopefully will do it tomorrow. And that's why I'm gonna try Wednesday, because I have.
I'm just gambling it.
Well, that's fine.
So,
Now, I don't know what to do with